good.
And we're good. We're on ripping. Ho! It seems like we've been off a very long time. And of course, relatively speaking, we have. Anyway, how you doing? Look out! It's only me. It's only the Kimmer and the Kimmer Show podcast. It's Wednesday, the 7th of September. By the way, did you notice? I was listening to the news this morning. Was it Seattle or Portland? Seattle, I think. The school, the teachers are on strike. This was the first day of school. This is what it used to be when I grew up as a kid. The day after Labor Day was the first day of school. Yeah. Anyway, some parts. Anyway, podcast number 472. Mm-hmm. I mention that because one of our longtime fans and listeners wants us to do something special for number 500 coming up. I'll get to it in a minute. First, Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder. Here at El Condo Flaundo. And for a Wednesday, the 7th of September. So podcast number 472. And a bunch of housekeeping things. First of all, any vacation 2 updates of anything you happened in the last couple of days?
Happy birthday to Hector.
Hector, I didn't get a birthday. I'm so sorry, Hector. I didn't get a notice. Happy birthday to you. One of the great guys. Family of
54. It's amazing.
He's not 54. He's probably 32.
He
He's
looks
maybe
good for
30. Anyway, well, happy birthday, Hector, and your sweet family too, and your mom. He stopped trying to fix you up with his mom, I guess. So
she met a guy who can actually support her.
Oh well, see, there you are. I have no skills. Girls like guys with skills, nunchuck skills. Wolverine killing skills. So any exciting 3 or 4 day off events of any kind?
Not that I think of.
Yeah.
Pretty
Flounder, how about you, sir? Any fun events over the last several days? You probably had to work a little bit.
Just work, and then over the weekend, I hung out with my dad and niece and nephew at the pool for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kept a nice, relaxing weekend.
Excellent. Anyway, so all this, we're all back to normal, or should be. A whole bunch of housekeeping things here. First of all, I don't know why I got this. Actually, a neighbor lady, when I was going home yesterday, a neighbor lady from her balcony across the way yelled to me that she got this by mistake. For some reason, New Yorker magazine, which we get a subscription to at like a very cut rate for a business thing, sent me a diary, blank pages of a book, and it's beautiful. Nice. It's a hardbound, would you like it? I mean,
sure.
It's a diary book to write in. It's not marked in any way. There's no chapter head. I mean, it's just blank pages and a note book with a hardbound cover, which I thought was fairly unusual. Also,
it makes you look like you're actually doing something when you're sitting.
It does. Opening it up with a hard. You're studious, very studious.
I like to go to bars with things like this and just sit there and look at somebody so they notice I'm looking at them.
Intelligent.
And then I look down and I write something in the.
Also, do you have any idea whether I probably should have done this off the air? But I got a message here, and I think I've done it the last 2 years. I've sent them money. It's through Kimmer Media. Safety plan order form. Workplace safety is essential. Follow instructions exactly when completing this form. Please print. And it's to. Records indicate Kimmer Media is registered to do business in the state of Georgia. Federal law requires all employees to provide a safe employment free from recognized hazards. And so they have check the activity best describes Kimmer Media. And I'm supposed to send them a check for $175 or something. Could you look at that and see? And I think I sent it in last year thinking it was from the law firm that we got to take care of our actual filing. But I don't think that. I think that's just some. And on the bottom of the form somewhere it says this is not a federal government agency or something. So it's just bullshit, right?
Do I just set it on fire now or what?
Well, you're kind of the comptroller, Luftwaffe thing, CEO here. Can you look at that later or something to see if I think it's just. I think it's their way of gouging businesses like mine.
Yeah. If it's not a federal,
to send them money, it's not. I don't think it's a real. They're just saying, well, you need this plan, so by God, give us money, and we'll make sure you have one or something.
I like on things like this. I like to wait till you get the fourth
notice, the final notice,
and then they start calling you, and then you go, all right.
In fact, I have in my hand a final notice, big red letters from the NRA, addressed to Ms. Kim Peterson. Well, that's why it's the final notice, because it's if you don't even know who I am, why the hell would I send you my money? What's that?
I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. And they come out and go, Mr. Davis? Yeah, got it. Yeah. They walk in there, sit down right here. I'm looking around going, well, this is a different office than I usually sit, but okay, I'll sit here. And then the guy comes back in. I'm so embarrassed. I went, Ricky Davis. And I said, well, that seems to be a you problem because I'm already situated in there, and I'm moving. He kind of looks at me. I'm kidding. I'll move.
So it was just the wrong. So it was a different doctor, different everything.
There was 2 Davises, and he just said Mr. Davis. He didn't say which. I'm not going.
You should have said, "Well, I'll do what he was going to get then."
I'm not going anywhere.
You're going to have to move him.
Is he in better health than me? I'll take his chart.
I love it. Also, would you like to get Harper's Magazine for like $12 a year?
I don't know anything about Harper.
It looks pretty cool. It's Harper. I certainly have heard of it. 172 years old. Choice words describe today's Harper's Magazine: intriguing, unconventional, original, invigorating. Serious magazine, thrive on independent thinking, search for meaning. And anyway, so I thought I'd get it for it's like $12 a year.
Let me look up and see what we got.
In fact, I'll leave that with you. But I think
it's probably a lot like New Yorker, but
I think it's probably
no
a think tank type articles and theses and opinion pieces and
New
stuff
York
like that.
BS.
By the way, one of the New Yorker magazines I got, and I've been getting 2 of them, so I just bring you one instead of the one I read and then give to you. It got a huge article on the background of Joe Biden's family from his grandfather on down when they were all war criminals, and he faked his company in cahoots with a guy's name I forgot now. It's in the article to do basically a fake plastic shielding for armored vehicles in the world wars, and it didn't work, and it was a fraud, and they made money off it. I mean, his whole family in cahoots with scumbags since the 1910s.
That's the plot of the great play All My Sons.
Well, there you
Yeah.
are. I mean, it's in, and I'll bring it in when I'm done, unless you already have it. Again, some of them they doubled up. Okay, where was I? Let's see.
So Harper's in the news. Harper's Magazine. NASA, droughts, Donald Trump.
Well, everybody's gonna have something on Trump. And by the way, we being a podcast, we got a lot of personal stuff to talk about here. We will talk about Trump and the things in the news and the stuff. Biden, I got so mad I can't even watch Fox News anymore because last night Jesse or somebody said, and as President Biden today claimed he solved, and then they show President showers with daughter screaming about how he beat pharma. I beat pharma. I beat pharma at a rally that had 60 people. Okay, the video showed 60 people at his rally, and he was saying,
Alarm is on.
"Oh, that's my phone ringing. I don't know who it is." And he said, "I beat pharma. I beat pharma." He's responsible for pharma, Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson making billions. He just gave them billions of dollars by making us take vaccines that were unproven and all these medicines. They've been making a fortune. He didn't beat pharma. Nope. It's exactly the opposite. Republicans are the danger to our democracy, and they approve of violence for political reasons. I mean, I can't. Yeah, I guess it was the Trump supporters who burned down all those buildings for a year and a half, and 20 and 21. I mean, it's unbelievable. Anyway, and by the way, he was known. Joe Biden is known as the credit card senator. Yeah. He was responsible for the credit card companies keeping. Remember when interest you paid on a credit card was tax deductible. Mm-hmm. Well, he changed it so now all the big banker people take advantage of the credit card companies' shenanigans that you and I have nothing to do with, but that was all Joe Biden doing. He's known as the credit card senator for his entire career. Anyway. So we'll talk about newsy stuff. I got a lot of newsy stuff. Also, I did a couple of things in the news for teasing today on the Facebook page. One of them was, I'll get to here in just a moment. One of them was the Zippo lighter, because that's coming up in the news for some reason. Now I can't find it here, but I'm going to talk about it in our history page. Oh, no, I'm going to do that later. Hold on a second. First of all,
confusion. Brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets. That's right, ClosetPro.net. Once again, one of our proud sponsors. Atlanta Custom Closets. You got a closet? Do you have a closet?
I do.
All right, Flounder, do you have a closet?
He's got one right there.
And actually, go take a look in there real quick.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding. And turn the light on.
All right, turn the light on. Should I take a stick?
In case somebody's in there. Oh, he forgot to untie his date. All right, sorry, honey. Sorry.
Notice anything
Take the
different?
gag out.
There's a golf club.
Notice how the shoes are not on top anymore?
Well, sounds like a job for Atlanta Custom Closets.
I literally this weekend I organized my closet.
Well, there you are.
Imelda has a shoe closet.
However, for those of you who did not organize your closet this weekend, Atlanta Custom Closets will be very happy to come over.
I still need to get
show
them
you.
out here because there's some little knickknacks and things they might be able to just for organization
I
purposes.
guarantee that's
yeah,
what
I'm
they
sure
do.
they can.
That's what they do. In fact, when they do it for a living, they really do it.
But the only thing is I rent.
Ah,
Yeah, don't-
well,
So
So
screw
I don't
them.
want. I don't want to like again the stuff
You'll
I
make
did.
it better. They'll make it better. Nobody will complain about making it better. I don't
Imelda's got her shoe rack.
I
so
can't
that's all that
imagine.
matters.
Let's see. God, I don't even know where I got a billion things here. I've got to get off my mind. I heard coming in on the way here that apparently, are you familiar with the Thomas the Tank Engine?
Yeah,
thing
it's
with
a
little boys?
kids thing,
Kids
yeah.
thing. In
English.
fact, my grandkids, Brady, when he was 3, 4, 5 years old, and Molly when she's 8 now, and when she was 3, 4, 5 years old, were huge Thomas the Tank Engine fans, and I used to get them the toys and read them the books and coloring, all that kind of stuff. Well, Thomas the Tank Engine is now very proud to announce that they now have an autistic rail car to go with the rest of the rail cars, and the voice of the autistic rail car is played by an actor who is autistic.
Well, I bet that train runs on time.
I'll bet it's always there, and I'll bet he can figure out what day of the week it was 1,700 years ago before the calendar was invented.
Yeah, Robot Chicken
dear
does
God.
great takeoffs on Thomas the Tank Engine. It's pretty funny.
Who did it?
Robot Chicken, you know that cartoon thing where they make the claymation and they make fun of it? It's like he goes off the rails, he goes nuts, he takes drugs. I mean, it's
What was the funny cartoon back in that?
Robot Chicken.
No, but see, it was another chicken. It was done by some guy, by Gary
Super
Owens.
Chicken.
Super Chicken?
Super Chicken.
Was it Super Chicken?
Super Chicken.
I can't remember. It was
Yeah.
I think it was Gary Owens or one of
Yeah.
those guys back in the
Super
70s, 60s.
He was like D'Artagnan with a sword, yeah. And he flew around in an egg. And and the best thing about Super Chicken is he had a lion for his cohort.
Oh, I can't
The
remember.
lion had this huge mane with a big sweater that said F on it. And this is how he talked. Come on, Super Chicken, let's go.
That's a Murgatroyd.
So all of us who grew up with that in the 60s, we didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
So back in the 80s, the Fox Theater did this thing, a cartoon fest from all the old cartoons, Popeye and Bullwinkle and all that stuff. So you watch this. So everyone watching, the place is full. And Super Chicken comes on, and Fred goes, "Ride me, Super Chicken, ride me." And we all just fell out of our chairs going, "Oh, my God, now we know what the F stands for. It's not Fred the Lion."
Oh, brutal. I love it. Anyway, so Thomas, now they have an autistic tank engine,
Okay.
and he's spoken by an autistic actor.
Well, so.
Well, now you're going to, if a guy, plays a handicapped person with no legs in a movie, you're going to have to actually cut his legs off. I mean,
Well, I'm glad you bring it up because the big controversy right now is Amazon has spent more money on any television show in the history of television on the prequel to Lord of the Rings. And I've watched the first one almost to the end, the first episode, and it's beautiful. It's beautifully done, just like the movies were.
yeah.
But people are upset because they're actually black actors in it. And I'm like,
Listen, Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings. And it's like black actors, and they're supposed to be lily white with white hair. And the same thing that's going on with Game of Thrones, by the way. There's a lot in there. And I'm sitting there watching going, I don't give a damn. It's
You would
elves
think
and
with-
everything.
Yeah.
Who cares?
You would think in today's society that it would be more accepting to have black people in movies.
But people are upset because the Tolkien people are like, come on, you got to stick to the books. Well, there are no books for this. This is a prequel. But the weird thing is, on YouTube, there's this comedian who's on there who's suing basically Hollywood by his agencies. He says, look, I'm almost 40 years old. I got a wife, a family. I've worked my whole life to get to a certain point. And my agency says, yeah, we love you and they love you. The client loves you, but we're not going to hire you. And he's like, why? He goes, we're just not doing the white thing now. He goes, what do you mean you're not doing the white thing? He goes, we're not hiring white actors anymore.
Okay, so
Anymore.
Well, try to find a commercial on TV involving white people.
With no white
A
people
white
in
couple.
there. A white man
Yeah.
is not in there.
No,
and if he is, he's a beta male being pushed around.
I know.
can you imagine if you said we're not doing the black thing right now?
Seriously. And he's suing him going, you can't do that. You can't say I can't get that job or even try out. He goes, I'm crushed. What am I going to do now? This is what I dreamed my entire life. And now I don't even get an opportunity to try out for something because of the color of my skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Which shows that we all thought, look, how come there's no more white couples in
Right.
television? I don't care if it's black and white, but why are they all black and white?
Right.
What's going on with that? Now we know.
Right.
They're all in cahoots. It's some kind of social agenda they're pushing, which you got to wonder why.
Especially, I mean, and again, we're talking in generalization. I saw one, I wish I can't remember what it was. I saw a commercial the other day, and it was all black and Hispanic guys, okay? Yeah. And they were doing something that only white guys would do, like wearing their Dockers and drinking Pepsi, or you know what I mean? I mean, and buying Bass Weegens and button-down collar shirts at Brooks Brothers. You know what I mean? There's just no way that you could pull that off. I mean, it was just, and I thought, oh my God, and I just started laughing at
You know what's going to happen right now. Hector is going to send us a photo of him in Dockers and Bass Weegens.
Yeah, I mean, but again, and I said, oh, come on. There was an Asian guy and a Spanish guy and two black guys and a white blonde. I mean, it was just, you got to be kidding me.
See if you feel the same way I do. All our lives,
Ordering pizza.
We've been seeing like
pineapple pizza for the black guys.
I like pineapple pizza. They show the groomsmen, and there's like 4 white guys and a black guy. Yeah. There's a party, the party, and there's 4 white guys hanging out and a black guy. They're going down to the beach. There's 4 white guys and a black. And I always felt sorry for the black guy. I think he has no black friends.
There's no.
He has no black friends.
Well, that's over. Don't worry about that anymore. Oh, I mean, my God. Anyway, I just sign of the. Well, look at Hamilton.
Okay, that's artistic
which was
license.
A thing. Yeah,
that's artistic.
But still,
license.
it was but everything now.
Let me point out, Aaron Burr, the white guy, kills him in the end anyway.
Well, there you are. A lot of people have never heard about that, by the way, in history because they don't teach history anymore, or civics or whatever you used to. Social studies.
That would make history. You go into class and you go, "Who was the vice president of Nixon?" I don't know. Spiro Agnew. Never heard of him. Blah blah blah. Did you know that a former vice president of the United States actually killed another man in a duel?
In a duel.
And then you pull out, what's he on, the 20?
Yeah.
Hamilton's on the 20? Is that what he's on?
Yeah, I think, or the...
What's he on?
Yeah.
What's Hamilton on? The 20? And you pull out a 20 for your wallet and go, yeah, this is the guy he killed.
Yeah.
You don't think that piques their interest?
I know. Yeah, we talked about, teaching school the right way.
It's like Kamala Harris. No. Who was under... Oh, Joe Biden. After Obama left office and Biden was floating around not doing anything, that Biden got angry with the Republican like Mitch McConnell, took him up on a bluff somewhere over New York City and shot him dead.
Yeah, killed him, yeah.
That was be the analogy.
Yeah, I know. Hard to believe. Mercy. Well, and speaking of education now, and now the teachers
anybody out there
union
wants their kids taught the real history, I'll do it for a small fee.
Well, the teachers union president who's been now trying to change history by saying, "Oh, we were always in favor of opening schools." Oh my God! Well, even the Wall Street Journal said, "No, whoa, just stop." And of course, the survey shows 80% of Americans are fed up with public education. I mean, it's just thank God that the Zoom classrooms showed parents this is what they're doing, and
and they're still doing it. There's one girl, I think it's a girl somewhere, I forget where it was, and she proudly goes on TikTok. They're probably telling you what they're doing.
TikTok, yeah.
And the rule of the school is you can't put political stuff up. And she's basically going around her classroom putting up gay signs everywhere, political gay signs, and looking at the camera like, "What you going to do to me?"
Right.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll fire your ass.
Yeah. Well, they won't.
They won't.
We're way too woke. Oh God, I got so many. I don't even know where to begin here. No, thank you. Okay. A couple of quick notes. Oh, well, first of all, I want to do all right, 2 things and I'll try to make it brief, but it's killing me. As you know, I am not young. As you also know, I use my phone mostly as a phone. I do look up things for the show, and I have pictures in here that I take of articles I need to read and stuff like that. So I use my phone. I don't do games on it. I don't do cutting and pasting. I don't even know how. I don't. I use it for basic thing, texting my kids and you guys, and looking up stuff and answering the phone, and that's it. Okay. All right. Now, the last several days, for some reason, I have these ear rockets in from where I deafened myself with gunshots. Okay. The last several days, my app on my phone, which is a little green earphone thing, has not been working properly. So I can't separate the ear. I can't do what it's supposed to be doing. So yesterday morning at 9 o'clock, I called the place, talked to somebody, left a message, and told him that it wasn't working, and it wasn't battery dot that I was, it was a problem. I was having a problem hearing. Okay, they never called me back. This morning I called them again, and later on, 3 hours later, they called me back. Finally, and so she says, okay, do you have an iPhone or the other one? I can't remember what the other one is. And I said, no, I have an iPhone. She's okay, whatever the other name of the phone is, iPhone or
Android.
Android, yeah, I have an iPhone. Okay, so she says, okay, all right, so go to your settings. And so first thing I think is, all right, if I go to the settings, am I going to cut her off?
No.
Okay, but that's the first thing I think. Oh my God, I'm going to swipe up and I'm going to cut her off. I just know it. Okay, so anyway, so I got to the settings and I said, can you still hear me? Yes. Oh, great. And then I realized I didn't put it on speaker so that when I look at the phone, she said, go into your settings and look for the accessibility or whatever it was. So I did that. And while I'm doing it, she's talking to me. Well, of course, while I'm looking at my phone, I can't hear it because it's not near my ear. So then I put it up to my ear and I hear the end of her sentence.
You got to put it on speaker.
Well, okay, I'm getting there. So I said to her, I said, no, wait a minute. When I look at my phone, I can't hear you. I said, I should have put this on speaker, but I don't know if I can get to it. And again, I'm freaking out knowing I'm going to cut her off if I try to go to speaker. Okay, so eventually I get onto the speakerphone. And then she says, go back into settings. And I do. Then she says, okay, and now erase the app. And so I said, well, by erasing an app, you slide up. I mean, that's how you'll get rid of something on your phone. Slide. Well, I said that to her. She said, well, make it like a C. So I said, okay. So I made like a C. I said, nothing's happening. Nothing. So this went on for like several minutes. Finally, I said, I'm coming in there. I said, this is ridiculous. She said, do you have a home button on your phone? I said, no. Oh, well, in that case, and I go, oh God, it went on for like 10 or 15, 20 minutes. And I'm finally saying, I said, I'll make time tomorrow. I said, I'm coming in there with a stupid thing so you can fix it and do it. I couldn't believe it.
Coming in there
I
with a
couldn't
gun.
freaking believe it. How is it possible that I'm so stupid that I couldn't follow directions on her because it didn't work? Have you ever made a C to erase an app?
A C.
Do you have any idea what that means? Make a C motion to erase it. I said, I'm doing it. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about.
I said, you have a home button? No. I mean, Jesus. Anyway, so now tomorrow I'll be, when I would be normally trying to do errands and do all the stuff I have to do when we're not doing a podcast, I'll be dicking around with this crap.
Okay.
And I mentioned one more thing. I'm sorry. One more thing about being old and hating modern technology. All of a sudden, when I go, I have, as you know, I have the Kimmer Show podcast Facebook page, and I have my own Kim Peterson Facebook page. Mm-hmm. When I go to my open something in the Kim Peterson Facebook page to look at the comments, I hit the little ding dang, and it opens up, and I see all the comments. Okay, now suddenly, starting the last 2 days, when I go to the podcast Facebook page for the comments, and I hit the little thing to go to the comments, it opens up the page, but it won't let me see the comments unless I scroll up and then hit the thing that says sent with stars. Uh-huh. Somebody locked in a thing that says
There's no
sent
somebody.
with stars.
It's an app update. It's an app update.
But I don't want it. I want to get rid
Tough
of it,
shit.
and I can't take
You
it
can't.
off. So in other words, their update. Now I have to do 3 more steps to read the comments on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
That's an upgrade? I have to do 3 more steps.
You got to understand, they're not doing the upgrades for
Assholes.
you. They're doing upgrades for them.
But
To get
it's
more
not an
information
upgrade.
that they can sell.
Jeez, I mean, I'm so freaking angry. I mean, honestly,
Why?
this is
Why
what
do
I
you
deal
let this
with.
get to you?
Because it does.
There's nothing that can be done about it.
So
unless you
freaking
get rid
angry.
of the phone and go back to a flip phone and not worry about it.
God
if you go back to
almighty.
an ordinary flip phone, you don't have to worry about any of this.
Worry about any of this stuff.
Seriously.
Anyway, anyway. All right, everything's fine. I'm alive. I'm walking upright and mobile, and I'm on the right side of the grass. So life is good. Or used to be good. My life, not my life, life generally is, not mine. Well, anyway, okay. A couple of things I put on Facebook page. I'll get to the Zippo thing later. Yesterday, I also put on the Facebook page. I know you guys don't look at the videos I put on there, but what I put on yesterday was a piece of advice and a warning to my children in case I am ever found dead on my kitchen floor. And what happened was I wanted to make some biscuits. So I did a little video, and I made my biscuits, and I did the Grand's Southern Country biscuits or whatever, and you put them in a thing. And so, as you know, when you take one of those tins of biscuits, up at the top of the one end of the top that says "Start here," and you take a little strip and you peel it off. Right? Do everybody know what I'm talking about? You peel off the outer layer of the skin of the thing. Okay, peel it off, and then you're supposed to hit it with a spoon so that it kind of pops open. And so it says "Tap here with a spoon."
You whack it against the side.
That's what you're supposed to do in the thing. Well, here's what happened, and by the way, everybody knows that. Everybody knows when you peel it off and then you whack it and it opens up and bing bang boom. Here's what happened yesterday. I started the peeling and it exploded.
That's happened before.
Scared the crap out of me. I mean, because oh my God! And it was so loud. It was like I fired off a round on one of my 50 caliber pistols in my living room again. And boy, you do that once and you'll never forget it. Yeah. And literally, my heart. I could have died. I'm wearing a freaking pacemaker.
You sound like Jerry Clower. He talked about when he was a kid. Yazoo City,
shoot
Mississippi.
the dog!
You can hear all up and down the street in Yazoo City the mothers hitting those basket things on the counter.
But again, I hate those things, and I could have died. I mean, I can see. I'll guarantee you that someone has died from an exploding biscuit can in his freaking kitchen that went off when he wasn't expecting
Here's
it.
a trick you can do. You peel it off so it's nude, but you don't pop it. You peel it off.
Yeah.
And you turn on
I know what you're going to say.
You turn on the oven so it starts warming up to 350 whatever.
Yeah.
And you put the can on top of the oven, and you're going to do your business, and you'll forget about it.
Yeah.
And that sumbitch will explode.
Well, actually, what they're saying, I saw something on YouTube or on video somewhere where you can actually use a can opener and take the top off the edge of it.
Why?
And then, so
That's
you
no
can
fun.
undo it. Anyway, but again, I'll bet you somebody's died. I'll bet you somebody died from a fright heart attack where their heart, to me, it felt like I've been hit by a horse. I could have died. I thought, oh my God, what if it did a thing with my heart thing?
Look at it this way. You got to your age where that never happened. I've had it happen 2 or 3 times.
Well, I've had it happen before, but for some reason, this one, maybe it's because of my ear rockets or my ICD chest implant, breast implant thing. I don't know, but it
trusted
it
the
was
doughboy.
expanded like 50 times louder and more abrupt and scary. It was like one of those adrenaline rushes that was bad. It was not a happy one.
The doughboy's out
It was
to
a
get you.
bad. It was like an instance of something that I don't want to remember. That kind of a deal. It was horrible. Anyway, all right, now, so I put that on Facebook. And I put it on as a warning in case my family finds me dead on the kitchen floor. Look for evidence, which is a biscuit can that exploded before it was supposed to. Anyway, so Richard Perry writes in on responds on the Facebook posting and said, "Death by biscuit. That would be a hell of an obituary. The Stain dies by exploding biscuit. Film at 11." And then he said, "I better explain." Because folks have no idea now you know what he's talking about when he said the Stain. You don't know what he said
I
about
do,
the Stain?
but I don't care.
You don't really care. Flounder is busy doing something, so I won't even bother
I
asking him
remember
over
the
there.
Stain. I remember the
We
Stain.
talked about the Stain
Yeah, I
a
know.
couple months
Okay.
ago.
All right. Well, I guess I should get through this fast. Anyway, I'm trying to communicate with our listeners so we show them we do care about what they say. So, for those who have no idea what he's talking about, or what I'm talking about, Richard said, "Kimmer would make me laugh and laugh driving home from work, stuck in traffic. I'm a big fan. More than 20 years ago, an idiot called in and called Kimmer the Stain on Atlanta. Kimmer ripped him a new one. I laughed so hard my sides hurt and I almost crashed. I pulled over on the shoulder on I-75 to recover, and a minute or two later, a cop pulled up behind me, got out, and came up to my window and asked if I needed help. I sheepishly explained what happened. He said, "Oh, I know. The Stain had me going too." No, wait, why isn't it not opening for me the whole way, you son of a bitch? I hate when it does that. Anyway, but he would, and the cop said he listens to me. He was hearing the same thing and thought it was pretty amazing. So Richard, I thought that was fairly cute. So thank you, Richard. That was very, very nice. Let's see. A couple of feedback things. I won't give his full name, but there's a fellow named Bill who sent us a very nice check for the Kimmer Media. And by the way, if you go to thekimmershow.net, You can link us all to the radio station Extra 106.3. The Friday morning call-in I do. The Saturday podcast we replay at 1 o'clock or at noon for an hour. And you can get in touch with us, get an address to send us a check if you like, or PayPal and Patreon, stuff like that. Anyway, so Bill is a listener, and he said, Mr. Kimmer, Pete and Flounder and Jennifer and Denise and little friend Ginger. He actually meant Gretchen. My little friend Gretchen I mention once in a while. Anyway, so he knows the whole crew. The guy's a listener. And he said, enjoy the show. Thought I'd send a little alms for the poor to tide you over till you're
Hang out your dead.
alms for the poor. I'm not dead yet. Well, you'll be dead in a minute. Soon.
Not fooling
I'm
anyone,
not dead. Until your next Biden government check. And then he writes in, I guess it's okay to mention this. I won't give his full name, and those who remember are old enough not to hold it against him. He said, I preceded you by about 10 years at WSB Radio. He was doing traffic news and covering news with the infamous Aubrey Morris. Who can ever... Aubrey Morris! Just one of the great old names in radio. I won't linger because it's from way, way, way long ago. He said, I was also the helicopter traffic reporter, as well as doing the radio car nightly on the Night Beat program. Elmo Ellis, who used to be the boss, eventually enticed me to go get my degree. I left for UGA. I wonder how many times Elmo's rolled over because of the demise of broadcasting over the years. Keep up the good work and stay healthy best you can. All good wishes from Bill. And he says, and remember, man cannot live by bread alone. He must have peanut butter. Anyway, I thought it was very nice that he's been a long-time listener. And again, the demise of radio. I mean, it's not hard to see what's happened to the radio business. One more quick kind of thing here, and then we'll do some other stuff and happy stuff. And
Before you do that,
yeah,
got some feedback here from Kilted Wolf 2,
all right,
which makes you realize there's a Kilted Wolf 1 out there.
I had
somewhere.
no idea there was.
Think of the irony. A Marine who used to toss grenades tragically dies from a biscuit explosion.
I'll tell you, the first time I threw a grenade, I was scared to death, man.
I bet you were. I bet you were.
Because my hands,
I lost count.
My hands sweat. I mean,
3,
I didn't want anything to do with it.
2.
Anyway, no. I'm not counting. There's no counting. Throw the son of a bitch.
I know.
I'm not holding it.
I mean, think about it. They can't.
No,
I
don't want to.
They can't make a biscuit tube that doesn't go off in your hand. I'm not trusting a grenade.
I mean, honestly, I thought I was gonna. I thought I had died. I thought my heart stopped. I mean, exploded.
I wouldn't trust a grenade to count. No.
Oh man.
Acme grenade.
Yeah, Roadrunner style. The Wile E. Coyote. Our friend Denise. By the way, I sent her out another thing. I've got to order more thank you notes. I think I'm like 9 behind on it. I send her one every 4 or 5 days. It's but Denise made mention, and what is she drove down to our little thing we had. It was so sweet. And she mentions that we should reach the number 500 of our podcast in a couple of months. And she thinks we ought to do a special show, a couple of ideas. One idea, have a show at another location, maybe with a radio station, invite fans to come. Have a Kimmer Show logo and 500 episodes of your clever sayings. Give away some T-shirts. Have a show reflects back on the previous shows. Have an open mic. People call in, ask questions, say congratulations, and encourage people to call in advance. Maybe have your daughters and sponsors and so forth. Have the podcast at night when more people can watch. Most are working during the day. They'll like it. More will start making a point to watch. And have maybe a shorter podcast each day of that week to celebrate the 500. Anyway, a beautiful, long, sweet letter from our friend Denise. Thank you so much. You're very kind. And she also told me to stop criticizing myself. That'll never happen. Anyway, okay. Hold on a second. And the Biscuit thing and Richard's note. House of the Dragon. You wanted me to watch the episodes of my homework assignment. There were 3 of them, and I watched them. And in fact, I want to take one quick pause here for a moment. I want to talk about the House of the Dragon and how I completely switched my opinion of it back and forth. I mean, completely. I surprised even myself. Have you heard about the quiet quit trend? Have you heard of that phrase, quiet quitting? It involves the Babylon Bee and a new thing going around of back to work people. I'll get to that in a second. Also, a lady on my personal Facebook page got some pictures of her granddaughter's homecoming dress she's wearing to the homecoming game coming up like in a week, whatever it is. And she said, "Oh my God.
I know, they're pretty risky.
They're wearing those in public?
I know.
Is her father going to watch her walk out of the house wearing that?" Anyway, we'll talk about that. I mean, oh my
It's
God.
like lingerie.
Yeah,
It really is.
Please.
I would have gone to the prom if they dressed like that.
I'm going to start going to all of them. Pretend I'm a chaperone.
That guy's here again.
No, just pretend I'm a chaperone. Yeah, I'm here to watch the kids. Yeah, I'm be watching them all right. We'll watch every freaking one of them. And we'll also the Gutsy Gals. Hillary Rodham, P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, and Webb Hubble's daughter, Chelsea. The Gutsy Gals. Oh, my God. More lies than filth. But first, hold everything. Dead Crow Defense. Dead Crow Defense is killing the competition with the best ammo prices since before the China kill virus even started. All the common calibers are in stock at Dead Crow Defense. Now remember, Dead Crow Defense is not a gun store. It's your personal arms dealer, your personal gun dealer, working directly with you. They can get you hundreds of different calibers by custom order. Anything they have right now in stock will ship the next day. Old-fashioned customer service, great quality products, people who care about making sure that you're happy. I'll give you 2 ways to get in touch with them, and they can, if you're looking for a special order, I guarantee you they can. They took care of Flounder just the other day, well, a few days ago, with an ammo request, and they've got them in stock, and they can get them for you. If it's something special, you can order online. Go to deadcrowdefense.com. And by the way, it's not just ammo and guns and so forth. It's personal safety gear and equipment. And just check them out, deadcrowdefense.com. Here's their phone number, 678, that's the area, 678-576-9117. And if you want to shoot them an email, sales@deadcrowdefense.com. See how that ties in there? They will talk about your needs, get you exactly what you're looking for. Online, use the promo code KIMMER, KIMMER, at checkout for 10% off your first several orders at deadcrowdefense.com. Deadcrowdefense.com. Dead Crow Defense is your arms dealer. Yada da 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 da. Okay, House of the Dragon. Now, have you? Do you have to go look for it if you?
I don't have HBO Max, so
okay.
I don't have it.
But it sounds like something you'd want to watch. Can you go get it? I mean, can you do a
sign up
search
for HBO Max?
Okay, well, I don't have HBO Max. I just have HBO.
Well, they must have done something then. I don't know. Well, I guess it's regular HBO then.
Yeah, it's not the Max thing.
Okay.
And speaking of that, a quick side note. I got my bill for Comcast in the mail. Xfinity Comcast. $300.
What?
$300.50-something cents.
What are you doing?
And they took, a year ago, they took away the movie channel and they took away Stars. And I mean, I have like 4 or 5 HBO channels and Showtime, but that's it. And Turner Classic Movies, but I don't have any of the fancy extra stuff at all.
What could add?
And it's $300. Xfinity and Comcast gives me my so-called high-speed internet and TV, and that's what I use them for. I have my Comcast email.
What's your normal monthly?
Yeah.
It used to be like $240, and then it went to $250.
You need to
and
have
all of a
them out
sudden,
there.
In 1 month, it went $50
wrong.
higher.
Yeah, you need to call them.
Something's wrong.
I'm going to call them, but I tried it, and nobody answered, and I couldn't wait. I mean, I'll
I've
have to
got
get
mostly
to them.
what you have for $190 at most.
Well, again, the problem is I don't have a smart TV. I'd have to go buy a new TV to get the new thing with the new, or you know what I mean? So
it's kind of worth it.
Huh?
The new TVs are so cool.
I know, but I can't.
Why can't you?
I don't want to spend the money.
It's $250 for a new TV.
Not for one like that.
That cost me $275.
Yeah, they're about. You get a good one for $300.
Well, Christ. I mean, I'm freaking out. I'm just freaking out. And would I lose my email, my Comcast email,
No.
if I get rid of Xfinity, Comcast TV and stuff?
No.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, I'm so freaking angry about this.
They
I'm
will
just
come to
so
your house and
freaking
beat
angry.
you, but other than
Well, they'll come to my house, but I guarantee they better bring some friends.
They will.
$300.
Okay,
$300.
You're being taken to the cleaners. That's ridiculous. You're going to write it off, though, right?
Well, I charge it to the company. No, no, I didn't. Hell, I should.
Well,
That's what I use it
why
for.
we're $40,000 in debt.
We were in debt before we
That adds
started.
up pretty quick.
12 years of Comcast payments. That explains it. Oh, duh. Anyway, okay, House of the Dragon. All right, it's it's basically the same music, the same opening theme. It's the same, boom, boom, the same thing. I won't give away plots other than to say I'm already confused. With the different families are splitting off. It's the same family kind of thing where there's a king and a queen, and then somebody dies, and then there's a bad son who wants to be a duke, and then he goes, and so it's that whole mess of family jealousy and who's got the power and who doesn't, and the wife did this, and he's got to get a new wife. I mean, it's a whole thing about this stuff. Now, it's like Game of Thrones in that there are different kingdoms and there are different kings, and somebody's got to sit on the Iron Throne, and there's a fight over who should do it, and the families are splitting, and so on and so forth. They do have things like jousting, and it's the same kind of thing of Game of Thrones. There are a lot more dragons. A lot more video. And I remember when I started watching Game of Thrones, you almost never saw a dragon for a couple of years. I mean, they didn't...
Didn't she... I think at the end of the first season, that
when
one
they
popped
finally
up
burned
on
her in the
shoulder.
fire, and they had three of them. Yeah, but it was the end of the
first
season.
or second season.
Yeah, but again, for weeks you never saw anyway. They were dragons right off the. I mean, there were dragons all over the place. So they got wise, knowing the people wanted to see the dragons. That's what they watched for. Anyway, so that was a good sign. And of course, the special effects and the scenery, how they did, how I don't know how they made all these castles and forts and
they're
kingdoms
in Eastern Europe. That's why you
mean,
should go to Croatia and Bosnia. This place because
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, they're beautiful. In Ireland too.
And I don't know whether it's computerized or real. I don't know if it's all real or. But again, it's stunning. I mean, and again, one more minor complaint. A lot of it's shot in the dark. It's very dark. They do a lot of darkness
they
stuff.
didn't have electric lighting.
Well, no,
back
but
then.
again, it's stupid. You can't see the costumes and the. I mean, it's just dumb. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Given that. I will say this, and this is how I completely changed from one episode. I watched all 3 episodes. I had them all DVR'd, and I watched them all. But this first one episode, it took me 3 days. From Friday, because I hit it like 2 weeks ago with whatever it was. It took me from today's Wednesday as we speak. It took me from last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I think Monday I finally finished watching the first episode because I couldn't take it. I was so angry and so upset at 2 things in the first episode of The House of the Dragon. One, it's gory as hell. Bloody, bloodthirsty, gory, organs. I mean, it was gory. A lot of blood and guts and gore.
All right.
Chopping and, heads. Ugh, I mean, just Jesus, God in heaven. Okay, the other thing was, as a horseman who lost Jack the Good Boy, there is a jousting scene that almost made me sick. And I stopped watching, and it took me a day and a half to go back to try to finish watching the episode. Well, okay, but I'm just telling you that's how much I was upset by and I thought, why are they doing this? My whole impression of the first episode was blood and gore and just horrible bad things that are happening. And I was a little confused because I don't know whether I couldn't understand the dialogue. It's a lot of British accents and stuff, so, whatever. Okay, I watched the second and third one. After watching all 3 episodes, I will definitely keep watching the series.
Okay.
I will definitely keep watching the series. And in fact, and I'd say this too, when the first episode, I didn't like there's a young girl who's a little blonde and she's, I think, 15 or something or other. And she's clearly the predecessor to the Dragon Girl, whatever. Anyway, and I didn't like her face. I she looked funny. She looked like she wasn't, she looked kind of weird, like she looked kind of like the way, how, Zuckerberg looks like a Martian. She looked kind of like her jaw was, there's something about her I didn't like. I somehow got over that, I guess. But and the bad character, you know who that is? It's one of the offsprings. Is just a nasty bastard. The one involved in the jousting thing. So so I didn't like the certain characters, but I liked her better, and she became a much more of a strong character and so forth. So let me just say, at the end of the 3 episodes, I will keep watching it. I wasn't as grossed out by the last one as I was by the first one, which I think they made a mistake, because I almost said I'm not going to watch this series. But I will watch the series after watching all 3 of them. But if you're interested, don't give up after the first one.
That's the
bottom line.
That's the problem I had with Breaking Bad. I watched the first one, and I thought, I don't get this.
I watched
so
the first 2 or 3, and it wasn't interesting to me.
But then a couple years later, I went back because everyone's talking about it. I watched the first 3, and I go, oh, okay, now I see it.
Yeah. Well, this to me was kind of, I don't give up. If you want to watch it, don't give up on the first one.
Right.
Now, whether it's worth it for you to go buy HBO, I don't. I mean, it depends whether you like this kind of thing. But again, it's like Game of Thrones. It's boom, 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 and it's all the kingdoms and the people and 10,000 peasants and
well, it's the
dragons.
same as Amazon's doing this Lord of the Rings thing. It's the same type of thing.
You mentioned something today about Amazon and John Cleese. Is that a different thing? Or is that
yeah, John Cleese, who, by the way, is traveling right now with his daughter, and they're doing shows, and he's in Sweden right now for something. And he does a review of a 5-star hotel he's staying in Sweden, which is just hysterical.
Really? Like what?
I don't have it in front. Basically, he goes in there. They don't have the heat on. Okay, it's a little chilly in September in Sweden at this point. He goes in
probably snowing.
There's a fireplace in my room, but it's not on. There's some candles. So he goes down to the thing. He can't get the manager's not there, assistant manager's not there. And the guy goes, who is there? The guy goes on the phone, well, it's me. Says, there's 175 rooms here and you're it? And he goes, that's it. Well, can you come up here and turn the heat on? No. Why do you mean no? And he goes, there's one guy in the town they're staying in, which I think is Stockholm. And he says there's one guy in charge of deciding when the heat goes on in the radiators in the city. And he ain't around right now. He's probably on vacation or something.
One guy decides when they can all get heat?
Yeah.
How do they do it? There's like one thing to all. Oh my God.
Okay,
that can't be right.
Here's what John Cleese had to say. Not about that. Here's John Cleese tweeted, Amazon offered my wife a book. Every once in a while they'll say, hey, you should check out this book. They'll send me a little notice saying, you probably would like this book based on what other things you've bought.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazon offered my wife a book they thought she might be interested in. It was my autobiography.
Well, they're just trying to take care of people. That's all, to see what you might
They're
like.
givers.
I love it. This is actually a question from Kathy, who's one of my personal Kimmer Facebook page people, and she said this is a serious question. And she had sent some pictures, which it wouldn't open up on my phone, but and she said, do all these homecoming dresses look like something a hooker would wear? My granddaughter just purchased one, and I can't believe it, but she says that's what the girls are all wearing. Faye wrote in, most definitely. Patricia, yep. Marilyn, yep, they have for many years. Kathy, yep, here we go. Boom, bam, boom. And they look like nightgowns.
The last 10 or 15 years, people on Facebook have been posting the prom shots of their daughters and granddaughters, and I'm sitting there looking, I'm going, you let them go dressed like that? You can see everything.
Lauren wrote in, it's crazy how much things have changed since I've graduated in 2018. That's only 4 years ago. She said, no dress code anymore is the biggest change. Carol wrote in, my 12-year-old granddaughter attended a dance last year where a group of girls wore tight, short, sequin dresses. Any movement showed their butt. I can't imagine what their parents were thinking letting them out of the house like that. And Dixie wrote in, most girls wear Nike Pro's bike shorts under those dresses. I guess so that they can't see their kajushka-bashka.
The only thing I can say about this that I wouldn't complain too much is that our birth rate has plummeted. If this gets people excited when they go out and have more sex, then we get more babies, and it's good.
Well, but I don't...
The problem
we're not replacing ourselves.
I know.
More people want the casual relationships.
They don't want the responsibility of kids.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
And every commercial says that. There's the television commercial where where it goes, yeah, we got a discount on our phone because we had a kid, so we had another kid, and then they have a bunch of kids in the house. And then it goes to her smart-ass, smug sister sitting on the couch by herself. Well, I got the same deal, better, but I didn't have to have any kids.
Yeah.
Like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, there was just a study. I mean, it was a study, and the headline was on my phone, and it said, "A study shows that women who do not have children earn more money in their lifetime." Well,
what do you got at the end?
duh.
Yeah, that way you can pay some stranger to take
Jesus.
care of you at the end.
But again, it's like rewarding. You know, you too can make more money. Just stop having those children. You know, I mean,
And a lot of people, the corporations are all behind the abortion mills because they want you to keep working.
Yeah.
You're not productive when you're out having babies.
Well, it wasn't that long ago. The change in culture was that if a woman would never tell a boss she was going to have a baby or was pregnant because they fired her.
Probably, yeah.
Until the court cases said you can't do that. And pregnancy was a good excuse for a boss to say, well, we can't have you working. You're not going to be here that long, so we get rid of you. And that was not against the law until some court said, wait a minute, that's not fair. But again, you know, they did that for the whole forever.
History.
Yeah, I mean, you know, pregnant. Oh, I'm not hiring you. Or they wouldn't hire women who were 21 or 22 years old who just got married for fear they were going to have a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, this back in in the 40s and 50s, 60s, that was an issue. A 20-year-old woman who just got married, finished school and everything, just got married, and has a little house with a picket fence, and a guy was saying, "What are your plans now? Why would I hire you to be my executive assistant when you're going to be quitting in 8 months?" Anyway, how times have changed. Well, in fact, I was thinking this the other day, how times have changed. Two things. You mentioned girls now, like Founder just said, and again, you'd be more familiar with this than I am by a long shot, but, these days, how times have changed. We were mentioning the other day about girls surrendering. I don't think girls surrender anymore. I don't think girls even know what swooning is. I don't think girls have
they do. Some of them do.
I think it's probably a deep, dark secret that they're not. I don't know that anyone actually releases the swooning thing, letting herself feel like she's giving herself to her man. That it's. You know what I mean? I think there's too much. Thinking about, I just think there's too much mechanical thinking, gymnastics, and physical stuff. Swipe right and let's have sex.
Sex
it's not
doesn't have the
exactly
meaning.
surrendering to someone you care about.
Sex doesn't have the meaning it used
Right.
to in our
Yeah.
generations, where there was maybe a little feeling behind it before it happened. Not always, of course, but now today's with the swipe culture, it's like another. It's like, I'm going to go have a cigarette. I'm going to go knock one off in the parking lot.
Yeah. Anyway, and I thought I was saying to myself today, they're given what's going on with this woke business, even though I think there's a lot more feedback against it lately, but still, our country's being run by these weird far left people. You can't tell me that this should be a legitimate conversation. I bet you that this is a conversation that could be held today in millions of households in America today at the dinner table. 10-year-old boy, Mom and Dad, I don't really like. I want to change my pronoun. I'm thinking about going to they and them because I think it's, we were talking about it in school today, and it just seems unfair that if someone isn't feeling the way that he's been branded because he was born that way, that you have to be locked into that. And I'll bet you Mom and Dad would say, God, we need to. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Yeah, and maybe we'll get some books that we'll do some on the internet. We'll look up some things, get some video. I guarantee you that a mother and father today, if a son or daughter said, "I'm thinking about changing my gender," or I'm sick and tired of dressing like I always have to dress in jeans like a boy or something. I mean, I guarantee you they would have a legitimate, serious conversation on the pros and cons of gender affiliation and changing genders with a fourth, fifth, or sixth grader.
You know what your first question would be, and what my first question would be. Where did you hear this?
Yeah. Are you shitting me would be my second question.
Where did you hear this?
Yeah, in school.
Who said it to you in school?
Your teacher. Yeah. But again, can you even imagine?
Don't get too attached to that teacher.
But again, I guarantee you that that's a conversation that could be legitimately had in America today.
Probably is.
But okay, let's pretend that that's like in a bubble, and then you go back and say, okay, is that really the country is that really what you're looking for? Is that where you want to live?
You see who's on the cover of GQ?
No.
AOC.
Oh God.
And it talks about her being the left representative, the picture for the left.
Well,
and a lot of people are saying, a lot of Democrats like, she's not the person. She hasn't put one fucking bill on the floor.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't do anything but go around and collect money.
Right. Well, she gives you where the curb is. She tells you where the parameter is. That this is where the woke leftists, want to build train service to Hawaii.
And in the article, it talks about her possible run for president and all this other bullshit.
Yeah. Well, they asked her on that. Jimmy Kimmel asked her, he said, well, you're 34. Wait another year, you can run for president. And she go, yeah. Or whatever. She's a couple of years away from being old enough to. She got to be 35, and I think she's 33 or 2 or whatever.
Someone who is stupid and who has power is a dangerous thing.
It's like the gutsy women. Have you seen that? I want to hit her. And again, Hillary Rodham, P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, got caught again, where she actually tweeted out when they're talking about Donald Trump, and now the press is saying, well, he had confidential codes and he had stuff, other governments things and so on. So first of all, it was under lock and key. It wasn't like he had, that picture of all the documents.
That picture's bullshit. They fucking displayed that. Did you see the Time magazine thing on the far right?
The FBI did that. It was all locked up behind lock and key. There was never any danger of anything being taken.
And if it was dangerous, they waited 8 months to go get the nuclear codes.
Have to do it now. They wanted to wait now, right? So this all
you don't think those nuclear codes were changed the day he left?
Anyway, it's just information that he already had. It was under lock and key. So why 24 armed agents with weapons of war in the middle of the night breaking into your safe?
I was listening to Clay and Buck the other day, and Clay does a really good job. I like Clay Travis.
Yeah, I like him.
And he was talking to one of the lawyers about this from Fox. And he says they're doing this because they can't win on what they've done. They're failures.
Right.
So they have to run against Trump, which is why you're going to see this dragged out, especially before elections. They're going to talk Trump, Trump, Trump because it helps Biden and Democrats' numbers.
President showers with daughter. All he's ever said, he said, you MAGA Trump supporters, you ultra MAGA Trump supporters.
Yeah, he was walking back those comments all weekend long.
All they're mentioning is Trump.
Because
Trump.
The other thing is Biden is losing the independent vote.
Yeah.
Not to mention the minority.
I hope people are coming to their senses. But again, I don't. You can't tell me that this is the America that people really, really want to live in. I mean, that's just what they're doing to our children. I mean, these are our children.
They locked them out for 2 years. They caused a mental issue.
And then deny that they did it, and then
twisting around what sex they are and what gender and putting these, drag queen shows in front of them and everything.
And you heard about the drag queen festival that's going to be in Ohio or Idaho, and it's sponsored by Target, Wells Fargo, Citibank.
Yeah. Well, they have to be inclusive, equity.
Well, there are Major League ballparks that still have Black Lives Matter up.
I know. And they got caught. Even the Black Lives Matter people are suing the guy at Black Lives Matter for $10 million he stole. And again, there's still $60 million missing. They can't account for the $60 million. And let's remember that fat black chick who bought the $1 million mansions and then retired also complained that they were being held to a standard where they had to justify all their stuff to be legitimate for charity. Well, everybody has to do the same thing, but they called it racist because they had to do it. They had to fill out the same paperwork as everybody, but they called it racist because they had to do it at Black Lives Matter.
A Black Lives Matter leader is accused of stealing $10 million from the organization by former colleagues in a lawsuit. In response, Black Lives Matter released a statement saying the ex-colleagues suing are utilizing a system of white supremacy to oppress blacks.
I hate these people. I hate them. I really do. And they're doubling down.
Because they're getting away with it. It's working.
I hate what they stand for. I mean, I really do.
I'm not compromising with them.
I can't.
I'm going to annihilate them.
I'm so frustrated. I watched Fox last night, and Jesse was and had on Biden, yelling and screaming about how the Republicans are trying to use political violence to kill people. All those cops who got killed on January 6th, stuff like that. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I want to hit you in the face. I want to strangle the words out of you to stop you from talking. Not that I would really do that in a Secret Service. Let's not say a thing here. No, but I mean, just honestly, I can't. I turned it off. I can't watch television. Anyway, No.
So you're paying $300 a month and you're not even watching.
I can't watch it. I got to do something. I got to do something.
Wesley says, I just left Walmart. They got a 75-inch. How big's your TV there?
Oh my God, that's 6.5 feet.
Mine's 55.
55. Mine, I think, is about 70 because I think it's a little bigger than that. 75-inch smart TV, $400. Walmart.
I'll talk to Mike tomorrow and see what the best deal for a smart TV and.
Well, but then,
Best Buy has good
I guess I have to have somebody come in and do. I don't know.
The Best Buy people would come in and set it up for you.
Yeah, Geek Squad. My dad does it, and they come out. Again, I'll give you a hand setting this up if you want, but Geek Squad will do it for you, and you just pay 1 year service.
Yeah, but then, I got to do. I replace Comcast with something.
Why not
Direct TV.
Why do you have to replace it?
Because it's $300 a month.
Just cut down all the crap that's in it. You don't need all that stuff.
I don't have all that. I don't have
You've got something because you're paying $120 more than I am.
I have HBO and Showtime. I have Turner Classic Movies. Everybody, I have all the standard.
I mean, again, you need to.
Doing something.
Yeah, you need
TBS.
You've got a package that's not working.
I just
for
have.
you.
I have Showtime and HBO, and then whatever the normal cable things are. $300 a month.
Check and see if AT&T's in, and they'll give you a better deal.
Yeah,
or check
AT&T.
Hulu.
Yeah, but they go out when it rains.
AT&T.
AT&T doesn't.
I thought they all.
No, they're not
Direct
satellite.
TV and
they're
all.
cable, just like Comcast.
Jesus. Anyway,
Again, AT&T. I think I pay $140 a month.
Do you have
you
trouble
have that here
with your DVR?
I don't ever use
it
my
freezes?
I don't ever use my DVR.
My DVR freezes all the friggin' time.
see, that's the other. I mean, I want to be able to record stuff because I don't watch live TV much.
Well, you still watch it.
Well, I watch.
I know, but
I watch
DVR
because I just flip.
I know. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get a thing on this thing. All right. Hold everything. Let's see if what's that? I don't know where I am. Coming up,
You still have what was it? A Philo Farnsworth in your TV. What was the old
Lilo Farn? What was his name? Milo.
When we moved to San Diego in '83, we went and shopped for TVs, and we didn't have a lot of money. But the guy talked us into buying something. I go, I remember that from like a class once. It was one of the pioneers of TV.
Yeah, from Milo Farnsworth.
They were still making televisions in the '80s.
The old Philcos and stuff.
It was like a Philco, but it was like an old a name that if I said it, you know it.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of it. Damn it! They were bought out by LG. And I can't remember the damn name of it.
You should Google it. I remember the name Wise RV Glass. Wise RV Glass. This is what a great idea this company is, by the way. In fact, they've been with us for a very long time. Wise RV Glass also represents not only the Kimmer Show podcast, but also the Kimmer Show podcast Facebook page. Wise, W-I-S-E, Wise RV Glass is the company that will replace any and all glass problems on your RV, motor coach, and camper, stuff like that. Maybe you have a fogged up double pane window. Maybe even just a crack or a little spider web in a rear view mirror or a side window or a rear view, whatever. Or even those hard to find flat one-piece front windshields in some of the RVs and motor coaches stuff, they take care of that for you too. No job is too small if you say, well, who's going to come to replace? No, that's what they do. They come to you. You call them, get in touch with them. They come to you, replace it in your own window frame, save you time and money. It's a completely total mobile service, and no job is too small or too big. If you have a fleet of trucks that need help of some kind, motor coaches, campers, RVs, they'll take care of it for you. All of North Georgia, all of Metro Atlanta, Wise RV Glass. Here's the phone number. And say hi to Russell, the sons who've taken over since Dad Carl retired a little while ago. Wise RV Glass. Here's the number, area 470-345-6521. And on the web, wiservglass.com.
Real quick, Doug Wallace says, Kimmer, your contract ended with Xfinity and you need to renegotiate.
I'll bet that's
I'm
what
wondering
it was.
if your 2-year or whatever package
I'll
you.
bet the sons of bitches.
So what you need to do again.
I mean, well, you know what? Again,
you just have to get in touch with their customer
I'm
service,
calling.
and then
I tried, but it takes forever to get to.
Yeah.
But
and then real quick, Avery Jones is on Facebook Live, who is with Dead Crow Defense.
Oh, Avery, yeah, how you doing, man? In fact, we were talking about you, Avery, with giving ammo to a flounder
yeah,
not
that's
long
right.
ago. So outstanding. Good to see Avery and the boys. Deadcrowdefense.com, and they'll take care of business for you. Have you? I mentioned you haven't heard. I didn't know this until I actually saw a headline from the Babylon Bee. But there is now an issue going around in America called quiet quitting. What is it, and why are people doing it? All right. I'll try to explain. Quiet quitting, actually, people make up names for anything. Quiet quitting was caused by the pandemic. It changes the way people work, where they work, how long they stay in a job. Everything's changed. Everything could fit in a category wheelhouse as the Great Resignation is being called quiet quitting. It's defined as performing a job that's assigned to you, but there's no above and beyond action, no extra work on days off, no answering emails 24/7. It's nothing new. It's an updated name with a hashtag and an old adage, something been around forever. I'll tell you, I've once or twice quiet quitted in my career, this person writes. Employees are looking for more of a work environment that feeds their mental health and well-being. People over the last couple of years have had the opportunity to experience what it's like to say, hey, family, I got to meet my kids all over again and experience what work-life balance feels like. I don't think it's that they don't want to work. I think it's that they want more time with their family, especially with the pandemic. They saw what's more important to them. One guy said, I wouldn't mind taking a little break from overtime myself. This was fueled on TikTok. Storming into the summertime work conversations, doing the bare minimum at work, skipping the hustle and bustle and all those above and beyond tasks. Ariana Huffington is dismayed at the idea, calling it a step toward quitting on life. Well, many experts and workers see the term as a misnomer, better described as setting some boundaries on yourself. But anyway, quiet quitting is a new thing that's going around here.
I still have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
I don't even know
it
what
just
you're
means
talking
you do the bare minimum at your job, and you've now changed your whole attitude about trying to impress your boss. You do something to get out of it. If you can stay home, you'll stay home. You don't feel like clocking anymore. It's just to me, it's just
Where are these jobs? I mean, seriously, where the boss doesn't care whether you do it or not?
I don't know. I mean, come
on. Can we get one of these cushy jobs?
I know.
We work like 3 hours a day.
Believe me, I wish we could get one of these jobs.
What are these jobs?
By the way,
I'll work 3 hours a day.
Yeah, we are looking. A couple of newsy things.
Real quick, John Osshole, who went to India, tested positive for COVID. He went to see the Dalai Lama and talked to him. So I'm wondering if he gave the Dalai Lama, if he gave him COVID.
He gave him AIDS. That would be bad. Let's see. A couple of newsy things. The White House has been caught in a link to big tech to censor misinformation. This story disappeared. It never really raised its head, and then it disappeared. The White House and big tech got together to flag so-called harmful posts from conservatives. Biden accused opponents of killing people by using false information about the China virus and so forth. But now the emails have been found proving collusion, and there are some people who are now trying to file lawsuits to show that big tech and the White House colluded together, which we all knew they were doing. But it's the same way that the School Board Association colluded with the White House and the FBI to have a domestic terrorist label placed on parents who yell at school board meetings. Again, and then denied it. And they caught him.
Did it with them.
And the CDC. In fact, I've got a couple of really funny memes coming up here shortly that I'm going to say. But again, for the record, you haven't heard this on the news because it was covered like over the weekend, and then nobody else covered it except on Fox once or twice. The White House was caught in emails. They are in black and white, in writing, emails between the White House and big tech on how to help censor information from conservatives, which they called misinformation, which is responsible for killing people if they didn't follow the White House documentation on it. And the fix was in from the beginning.
Also, KGP has to turn, her and Fauci have emails going back and forth that they have to turn in within 21 days.
Well, look at what they're trying to get the all the banking. There what was it, 200 or something incidents of banking irregularities with the Hunter Biden laptop information. Banks all over the world notified the Treasury Department of the United States about all these mishandlings of money, which is normally involved in washing money for drug dealers and cartels and communist nations and so forth. And the Treasury Department has the documentation, when a bank says, hey, this guy doesn't seem on the legit, I don't want to get caught washing money for a drug cartel, so I'm going to tell the Treasury Department, be on the lookout because this seems fishy to me. That's one hit. That's one time a bank says, I think this guy's fishy, please check this out or put it in your file. That's one. Hunter Biden had like 180 of them.
Yeah.
Banks all over the world. The Treasury Department is refusing to give the documentation to Ron Johnson, the Wisconsin senator, who wants it to investigate the banking irregularities with Hunter Biden and his father and Uncle Jim and the sister and the wife. And the Treasury Department is not turning them over, even though it's public documents to a United States senator. And they won't turn it over to prove.
The senators and the representatives have lost the power. They used to be our power, the one thing you could turn to that they could get a corporation or another thing or government to answer to them. Now the other wings of government just stick their nose out and say, we're not going to deal with you.
Yeah.
Oh, so what do they do about it? What do the senators and the representatives? By the way, you're talking about the bullshit that they keep spewing at us. This is the lead story on Twitter. The lead thing on Twitter when you hit the search thing to see what's happening. Yeah. There is no evidence of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election, according to fact checkers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Who's fact checking the fact checkers?
Right. Yeah.
We just said it, so therefore it's true. So everybody move on.
And did you see the tweets that KGP back in 2016 with Brian Kemp talking about how he stole the election from Stacey Abrams?
Yeah. Ducey went after her, and she goes, oh, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I said, well, okay, you say it's against democracy to question election, yet we've got you doing it twice with Kemp and Trump.
Yeah, I know. By the way, Barry Anderson's one of our listeners, and he sent me some audio on the message app that I tried to forward to you. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was called The Best Edit I've Ever Seen, and it was the Monty Python charging of the castle, but the audio was getting Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. And it was pretty funny, but I don't know whether we can play it or whether I tried to send it to you.
It's a visual, I think.
Well, but the dialogue was pretty funny, and it was like they're storming the castle in the olden days, but it was about Mar-a-Lago. Anyway, if you can look for it. But Barry,
I shall taunt you a second time.
Yeah, it's pretty amusing. And Barry said, Barry Anderson. What's that?
Nothing. It's just
oh, sorry.
He was yelling.
Anyway, it was fairly.
By the way, that whole incident brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com.
Well, there you are.
That's right. They had custom shirts and hats and signs and business cards, placards, pamphlets, whatever you want. FarmhousePrintingCo.com. All your Kimmer Show T-shirt needs. Holy crap! It's sports. Anything you want. Jack the Good Boy. All the horsey stuff. If you have a photo, they'll put it on anything you want to. FarmhousePrintingCo.com.
In fact, I have several photos I'm going to have Eric and the gang do for me, including one from my golf outing with my son-in-law, Dan.
Fully clothed?
Totally fully clothed. Good. Let's see. Okay, other things going on in the news. I'm going through my list today. Oh, I thought this was fairly funny. We mentioned last week how Governor Idiot Newsom of California has made a mandate now that they're basically in the next 10 years or whatever it is, they're not going to sell any gasoline cars. They're going to be all electric in California. The next day, he announced, don't fire up your electric cars because we don't have the energy.
And today, it's no air conditioning. Yeah. Don't turn your toaster on.
Right. So, and again,
after
the heat wave.
After 4 o'clock, you go to 78 degrees on your thermostat.
Right. Yeah. The Babylon Bee has come out with a few stories and headlines. I'll just mention a few of them today. I love these people. In fact, they had him on Fox the other night. One of their editor guys was on. It's pretty funny. The Babylon Bee has a picture of Governor Gavin Newsom. And here's the headline. Newsom promises there will be enough electricity for all Californians after everyone moves to Florida. Yes, Newsom explained he's optimistic that as more and more abandon the unlivable, unaffordable mess he's making out of California, this will create a surplus in all resources for all who remain. Look, folks, anyone willing to stoop so low as to move to a state with plentiful energy, strong education, and safe neighborhoods without hundreds of homeless is not Californian at all. And to those people, I say good riddance. Well, here's some more of the Babylon. I mean, I love these people, the way they write. Here's some more headlines from Babylon Bee of things that are happening here today. A picture of Ben Stiller, the actor, comedian, son of Jerry Stiller. It was Jerry Stiller, right? Ben Stiller, headline, Russia bans Ben Stiller after seeing Zoolander 2. Actually, they banned him because of...
banned him after that.
More Babylon Bee headlines. New report indicates Biden quiet quit the presidency months ago. To promote inclusion, California passes law requiring men to sit when they pee. Trump diligently working to help Dems hold Senate so people will miss him even more by 2024. CDC warns of new stealth COVID variant where you test negative and get no symptoms. By the way, that's what's going to happen. We're going to be told we have the disease even though there's no testing and there's no symptoms, but we still have the disease, so we better take another shot.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just heard Fauci was again saying this may be like the flu shot where you'll get one every year the rest of your life.
I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
This is, now I'll pull this up here, right here. Hold
Jab
on a
on the right, jab on the
second. Don't get ahead of me here.
Flounder.
Just chill. The White House COVID response coordinator, here's his quote. I really believe this is why God gave us two arms, one for the flu shot and the other for the COVID shot.
There you are. It's like being a Paris Island, but they jab you in both arms walking down the line for all the immunizations you get. Man, did that hurt. I mean, again, we'll be doing. They'll be wanting us to get a shot every year for the rest of our lives.
And the stories show that the studies show that those who got the vaccine are dying quicker.
Yeah.
They're carrying it longer.
Yeah.
Passing it on more.
It's actually doing the reverse of
And there was another young football player that just dropped dead this weekend.
heart attacks in 25-year-old people.
The insurance companies are saying there's an increase in between, I think, 18 and 45 when you're supposed to be your healthiest.
Yeah.
There's a 40% increase in deaths.
Yeah.
In last
heart
year.
problems. Yeah.
Heart, stroke, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're hearing more and more about young people just dropping dead of clots and all kinds of stuff.
I'll tell you. And again, Biden says President showers with daughter says that he got pharma. I beat pharma. He made them billionaires. Speaking of President Potato Head, quote, or not a quote. Oh, there. I think this is my hearing aid people again.
What?
My phone's ringing, and I think it's the. In fact, I'm going to answer it. Hold on. We can. Hello.
What?
Appointment tomorrow to go have my ear rockets checked again instead of being able to do it over the phone because I can't figure out how to work my phone for the apps that run the thing.
Oh, we are? We rolling?
We canceled all that, did we? Sorry. Okay, back to the headlines.
You didn't even notice what happened there. She said, that's my what did you say, your earphone?
Ear rockets.
Ear rocket. And I said, what? And you repeated it again.
Well, I'm used to it now. I hate them. I just hate everything. I'm finally beginning. I'm sorry. I'm yelling.
You're an android.
I'm yelling too. I'm sort of an android. I'm beginning to learn how to chew again. I'm beginning to be able to chew without worrying about biting my tongue.
Oh.
Is that the? I mean.
Well.
Anyway. And I've gained 4 pounds back. So now I've only lost like 25 pounds.
You have gained a little weight, yeah.
I'm still a freaking stick figure. I mean, look, you can see my bones and my shoulders sticking up out of my shirt, for God's sakes. Headlines. After using FBI to suppress son's crimes and raid political rivals' home, Biden warns democracy in danger. Yeah, he raids Donald Trump's house and hides his son's duplicity for the crime family and says, you Republicans are giving a dangerous democracy situation here. A couple of funny memes. Speaking of my little friend Gretchen, these are going all over the place. A picture of Spider-Man hiding from around a corner, whispering, "Psst, psst, psst. If you can afford a $60,000 electric car, you can pay back your student loans." Here's one from the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Did you know, with the combined salary of the 87,000 new IRS agents, $81,000 average annual salary, with the combined salary of 87,000 IRS agents, you could put a police officer in every public school in the nation and still have 31,000 police officers left over.
Yeah.
Let me say it again. For the IRS money, a cop in every public school and still have 31,000 more cops you could pay to be on the patrol. And this is where we want to spend our budget money. This is the tax. This is the Tax Reduction Act. Things like this, he's talking. The Tax Reduction Act would give more money to electric vehicles for the post office.
Next time you hear a Democrat run their mouth about how they care about the schools and the gun violence stuff like that,
mention this.
Then why did you do that?
Yeah. Every school in America and 31,000 more cops aside from over and above that for the same money for the new tax agents to come and get you. Let's see. Oh, here we go. If your government does not use deadly force to defend your borders, but it does use deadly force to collect taxes and enforce its unconstitutional laws, then traitors have taken over control of the government.
Yeah.
Jesse Kelly wrote in, this is hysterical. Remember when the FDA called ivermectin horse dewormer and pharmacies refused to fulfill doctors' prescriptions for it? Those people are guilty of murder. Here's why. Right below that, yesterday, the National Institute of Health added ivermectin to its list of COVID treatment.
Quietly.
Looks like the conspiracy theorists were right and the experts wrong once again. Yeah. Ivermectin, the horse dewormer, is on the list of approved things, which we knew worked because Trump said, the doctors told me this stuff could work. It's a
People
thing.
were removed from Twitter because they...
Yeah, that's right.
And it wasn't the horse dewormer. There's two different versions. One for the guys who made it for the humans to stop coronaviruses. One, the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yeah, this was done in World War I. Or was this used in
that's penicillin that came
100 years ago or something?
I don't know if it's that long
But
ago.
again, it's not... Yeah.
Well, Bill Maher even said, he says, how did this become political?
Yeah.
Either the drug works or it doesn't.
I know.
And people died because they were denied this. The doctors covered it up. They were threatened not to use it.
I know.
And people died.
Yeah. It's so freaking wrong.
And then they quietly add it to their list of, you can take that.
Ivermectin is now on the approved list of things that will help you after all. How many lives
not
were
just
affected?
92% better.
Yeah. And how many lives were affected either by people fighting with members of their family or breaking up relationships, saying, "Oh, you conspiracy, you horse dewormer," and again, that those relationships will never be the same. Professionally or personally, family stuff or at work.
Never forget the people.
All the people who maybe lost their jobs or lost their relationships because of stuff like this.
That you stood your ground. Never forget the people who ridiculed you because they believe the government, because the government never lies.
Yeah.
Well, go to a Native American reservation and ask them what they think about the United States government.
Yeah, persevere. All right, hold on a minute. Coming up, LSMFT. The old-fashioned way. Also, Tom Brady and Giselle. Who didn't know that was? I predicted that.
I'm so tired of it.
I know, but again.
Like this morning, Get Up, which is a pretty good show on ESPN. And they're every day it's the same thing. Breaking news. Tom Brady may be having trouble. Blah, blah, blah. Well, it's the same crap you talked about 2 weeks ago.
I know. But again, I haven't heard much about it. This was a little surprising. But again, I predicted it because, the way it happened and just looking at her. But anyway, we'll talk about that. Also, the doomsday glacier may mean we're all going to die, apparently. And let's see. I love when the miners help the electric car people. We got a bunch of stories. Also, some history things, birthday stuff, and all kinds of good things here. But first, I want a quick reminder for you, my friends. SwapMyWhip.com, another Kimmer Show sponsor. What a great idea. You're driving along. You see a car you've always wanted. Oh, man, I wonder if I could get one. Hey, go to SwapMyWhip.com. It's for like-minded people who would like to get a different car but don't want to deal with dealerships and used car salesmen and middlemen, stuff like that. You go to SwapMyWhip, which is colloquial for a ride, SwapMyWhip.com, and see what's out there. And maybe some guy wants your car and you want his, or another third guy says, oh, I got a brother who wants bing, bang, boom, whatever. You make out your own thing. I mean, what a great idea. Now, it's not just cars. It's also boats or jet skis or like ATVs or, stuff like that. If you have an old tank we got from World War II, I'm sure they could do that for you. SwapMyWhip.com, and use the coupon code KIMMER, KIMMER, for 180 days of free premium listings on SwapMyWhip.com. SwapMyWhip.com. What a great idea. One of the things I teased on today's podcast for today's show, I don't even remember why I teased it. A picture of a... I know what it was. If I can only find it here. I remember what it was. I'll do it here.
We got breaking news.
Breaking news. Go ahead. Breaking news.
Doug Gottlieb, radio host, who's on Fox now, used to be on ESPN, admits he falsely claimed Agent Casey Close never informed Freddie Freeman of the Braves' contract offer.
Well, all right. Say that it's a double negative. Say it again now.
Doug Gottlieb went on the air and said that Freddie's agent, Casey Close, never told Freddie of the Braves' contract offer that he probably would have taken.
Yeah.
And the Close says that's not true, and I'm suing you. And so he's probably having to backtrack on that.
So he says,
now.
In fact, he did tell him.
Yeah, he says he did tell him. So that puts the onus back on Freddie for not doing it. So.
Oh, man. I just hate.
We're beyond it.
Yeah,
now.
I guess it's not a big thing.
Until we have to face them in the damn playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been watching the Braves as much as I can.
First place.
And by the way, somebody's complaining on Facebook, too. Try to get SportsCenter to cover the Braves. I mean, they're the best team in baseball, the world champions.
all Mets
it's
fans.
Yankees against Boston, and Mets fans against Philadelphia.
The Mets swooping. It's slowly being pushed down in the old storyline. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I mean, it's typical the way they treat it. And again, it's the same thing with the Braves and whatever, anything Atlanta. On this day in 2010... the Zippo Lighter Company did a survey to find the greatest lighter in the air song, which is pretty cool. The lighter in the air song means when people are so taken by a song in an audience, a concert or something, that they light their cigarette lighters and hold them up and go back and wave. I haven't seen that in years, but I haven't been to a con. And now you got your phone, I guess. But it used to be it would hold your Zippo, your little lighter, and hold it, and the lighters would be all. The crowd of thousands would hold their lighters in the air, and that's called a lighter in the air song. Well, the Zippo Lighter Company in 2010 did a survey to find out what are the greatest songs that would cause you to put your lighter in the air. Mm-hmm. Number 3, Meatloaf, I Would Do Anything for Love, but I won't do that. The number 2 song to put your lighter in the air that you're swinging back and forth. Number 2, Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. Mm. And the number 1 lighter in the air song, according to Zippo Lighter people, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. I don't know about that. Anyway,
We Are the Champions by Queen.
We Are the yeah. Now, because I wanted to kind of tease this for today's...
Sorry, real quick. I don't mean to cut you off talking about Queen. Did you guys see the Taylor Hawkins tribute thing this past weekend?
His son played the drums at a concert or something?
Yeah, Shane Hawkins, his son, played one of the last songs, My Hero. It was unbelievable.
Why'd they do it in London?
They're doing one in L.A. as well in a month. So they're doing one there. It
didn't make sense to do it in London. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
They're not British.
But apparently it was very touching that his son...
Paul McCartney showed up, too.
Oh, there's a bunch of... who else showed up?
The James Gang showed up.
That was the first time they played in 20 years. Rush played.
Well, 32 of them.
2 of them, yeah. Dave Grohl played the drums. Who else? It was a huge lineup.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was, Wembley.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that Zippo lighter... As you recall, like a year ago or so, or maybe more, my old co-worker buddy Mike Summers, I used to work with back in the 70s and again also in the 90s. sent me for my birthday, I guess it was a year ago, sent me a pack of Lucky Strike cigarettes and a Zippo lighter because I mentioned, and I'm tempted to fire up that Lucky because I used to love those Lucky Strikes. I smoked 4 packs of Luckies a day for years. 4 packs of Luckies a day. Anyway, and of course in the Marines, we all had our little plastic containers to put our cigarettes and our lighters in, or matches, so they didn't get wet and everything else. And the Marines, when you're wearing your work uniforms, they come back from the cleaners all starched. And in the Marine Corps, you don't put anything in your pockets. Your front pockets are flat. They're cemented in by the starch in your uniform. You do not put anything. Your pockets are not open on your pants, the front pockets. So instead, you have a little plastic container with a cigarette pack in it, and you put it in your sock under your thing there. Anyway, just saying. I'm sorry. Okay, so anyway,
Why?
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
That's why pockets were invented.
It's the Marines. They have these rules. It's not for everybody.
So you'll put something weighted on your foot.
Well, the salty ones would get away with it, but again, it was to look the best. You didn't put anything in your front pockets. Anyway, but I was talking about, and I showed the pack of Luckies and the Zippo lighter, and Van Man wrote me in and said, Lucky Green. Now, back in the early days, the pack of Lucky Strikes was colored green. The pack of Luckies was green, not white with a red circle. Back in the old World War II type days. And he wrote in Lucky Green, LSMFT. Do you know what? Ever heard that before?
Oh, yeah, long.
No. Well, that's the colloquial. But the real one, when they sold Lucky Strikes, LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Or loose straps mean flappy. And that was the old colloquial. So he wrote in, loose straps make for flappy blooms. Just saying, USMC standard issue lighter was the Zippo. I had a Marine Corps Zippo lighter for years. And I wrote back, how will I remember? And then he said, 41 years ago, listen daily, living in the ATL for 15 years to Bortz, Rush, and you. A full day of great listening, Semper Fi from Van Man. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Yes.
Talk about TV shows. I finished watching a movie last night on Amazon called Samaritan. You heard about this?
Samaritan?
No.
Uh-uh.
It's Sylvester Stallone's superhero movie.
Oh.
And it's really bad.
Sylvester Stallone? A current modern day movie?
Yeah, he just made it. Made it a year or two ago here in Atlanta.
I've never heard of what?
I've
never heard of it.
And it's set in it looks like Newark after the bombs go off, right? And I'm thinking, where the hell did they film this? And all of a sudden I recognize the Bell South Tower, the Georgia Pacific building, the MARTA trains. I'm like, holy shit.
What's it called?
Samaritan.
Samaritan.
And he basically
As
plays...
in Good Samaritan?
Well, yeah, I suppose he's like an ex-superhero. He's older now, and he's living as a garbage worker in a bad neighborhood of a bad city. They call it Granite City, but it's Atlanta. And I'm thinking, God, they really went overtime. And I'll give them this. It's a bad movie, but they got balls. They filmed at night down on Mitchell Street.
Oh, my God.
They're insane. They're absolutely insane. I wouldn't go down there.
I don't think so. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. But it's amazing how they turned Atlanta into like Newark. It was
What's
amazing.
the story? What's it about?
He's an old superhero. He left. No, he's a garbage worker now, and he's put that all behind him.
So what's the point? I mean, just his life as a garbage worker?
Well, bad things have gotten so bad in the city now that he's kind of
God.
needed again, and this little boy needs him and everything. And it's got moments, but it is so bad.
Oh, my God.
It's
I'd
so
never
bad.
even heard of it. In Atlanta, you'd think that somebody would have mentioned it.
I know.
Or thought of it anyway. Speaking of Holy Crap at Sports, later on today, I'm gussing?
No, Friday. I
Podcast?
did one yesterday, and I'll do one Friday.
Oh, excellent. Well, even better. Now, a couple that the Tom Brady thing, it started, I saw it on the other day, the reason he may not be in camp or hadn't been in camp was because he's working things out with his little fantasy girl. And I remember saying when he said, I'm retired, and then he came back.
Yeah.
First thing I said was, this is not going to sit well on the home front. I can't believe
She
that
left
in
the country.
any way. Yeah.
She left the country.
Yeah.
Went to Costa Rica.
Yeah. And clearly, I mean, he's just,
He's got nothing but football. That's kind of sad.
He is so shallow, but he's got his whole nutrition company. He's got work. He could never finish all the work he could do working for his company of nutrition
But
and people and
his
doing
whole life.
seminars and.
It's not. But the thing is, it's not competitive.
Well,
He's a
he is
competitive-
so
he has to win.
shallow and selfish.
Well,
You'd think that she's, she was her supermodel and everything else, but still, he left to go play football when she took care of the family.
Yeah. From August to January, he was gone.
I mean, that's that's a lot to ask of a wife for 20 years. I'm going to football, honey. I'll see you, in 6 months.
Yeah.
So anyway, I figured that was.
It's kind of sad that he can't find
terrible.
anything to replace football.
How could you not just say, honey, I'm so sorry, and give it, why wouldn't you do that for the, anyway.
And he's willing to put his marriage at risk.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine.
Frankly, I think this is a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have come back.
That's stupid. That's stupid. And he's not going to win the Super Bowl either, I'll bet
I
you,
don't
this year
think so.
either. In fact, they may not even make the playoffs.
Well, they might make them.
Well, I mean, they have a pretty good team, and if he has a great year, I mean, if he makes a lot of his 8-yard passes, they'll score touchdowns, and they can, be 10-7
They got a coach
or whatever.
that failed in his last job. Of course, it was the Jets, so everybody fails. And he's lost his center probably for the season.
Yeah, I know.
No Gronk.
Yeah. It could be too. Quick thing: Alabama is still number 1 in the pools. Georgia moves up to number 2.
Georgia should be number 1.
Should be. Of course, they should be. My God, what a game! Defense scored 3 points. Let them score 3 points. Anyway, also, I thought this was amazing. And again, I don't follow soccer, but I read the story because somebody from Atlanta. Atlanta United center back, I don't know what that is, Miles Robinson was arrested by Cobb police on a report of misdemeanor theft by taking.
At the Battery.
$150 bond, $150 posted bond. Robinson, 25. He's alleged to have taken a shot of liquor from a waitress and declined to pay for it. Is that one of those things where they bring you a Jell-O shot and then they say, well, you owe me $250 or whatever? I don't get it. They arrested him for...
That's more at strip clubs when they actually bring the Jell-O shot to you. That really doesn't...
I don't
like
know.
that doesn't really happen at bars. You have to order a drink to get it.
Well, so why would he order a drink and they refuse to pay? I mean, they called the cops and arrested a guy?
Not only that, they suspended Josef Martinez for a game for something he did. They won't say what it is.
Damn. Now, one other sports thing with
By the way,
Pete
Arthur Blank, way to take the most exciting thing before the Braves got really good again. The most exciting thing in this town was Atlanta United.
The new soccer team,
It revolutionized that entire league, and way to kill it in like 2 years.
Here we go. Yeah.
I mean, who talks about it anymore?
I know.
Not in Atlanta.
I mean, the diehards still go, but not as many as they used to. And it used to be everybody was talking about it, and
There's
now
no
nobody
trend with
talks
it
about
anymore.
They killed it.
Yeah. And one last thing, we talked about that tennis player Kyrgios. What I think he's got a mental problem. He had a meltdown. I don't think I've ever seen a meltdown like. I mean, Jimmy Connors and McEnroe never did that.
He could have hurt somebody by.
Well, the racket pieces went flying.
And here's the thing: what he did. At the end of the tennis thing like that, the winner gets to walk around the court and receive the adulation of the crowd. Kyrgios, he's like a child.
Yeah, he
You're
ruined
getting
it.
attention. No, I should be getting the attention. So he does something to draw the attention back to him.
Yeah.
He should be suspended.
Yeah, don't let him play.
Don't let him play the U.S. Open next year.
Right.
They wouldn't let poor Djokovic come into the damn country because of the stupid pandemic, scamdemic thing.
Yeah.
But they'll let this asshole do what he did.
Yeah. Did they punish Serena when she said, "I'll rip your throat out, you bitch," or anything like that?
I think they did something.
I think they did something. But this is outrageous. I mean, it's not funny. I mean, it's not like, he's being cute or clever or there he goes again. I mean, this is not Manny being Manny. This is not a baseball thing. This is.
Well, he does it because he gets away with it.
Yeah.
He's become a worldwide star, not because he's got all the talent in the world. He's probably the most talented guy out there right now. But he can't keep it together.
Yeah, I can't imagine why he's being able to stick it out like that.
Because no one tells him no.
Well, I guess. Well, star athletes. I also put another thing on Facebook too. Called about the jellyfish haircut. Have you heard about this? Here's a picture. They're calling it now. The new thing is the jellyfish haircut. And now, for some reason, Nicole Kidman has been linked to the jellyfish haircut. If you Google it,
anything,
and I put the picture on the Kimmer Show Facebook page, podcast Facebook page, and the picture is a young girl, and the jellyfish haircut it looks like you take a blob of hair, like a wig that goes down to your ears, and you dye it red and yellow and orange and stuff like that, and you plop it on top of your head. And then coming from the side, you have these tendrils, and so it's jellyfish tentacles hanging down over your shoulders.
It's ponytails without the braid.
Yeah, it's not really a what do they call the one where the rednecks do the
Mullet.
A mullet. It's not really a mullet. It's where that hangs down from the side under your ears on your shoulders in little tendrils. And it looks like you just plop some hair on the top of your head to go with it. Huh. And they're saying that Nicole Kidman did a photo shoot recently, and they called her doing a jellyfish haircut. And all of a sudden now this is a thing on social media. Vidal Sassoon's precision style in the 60s for people like Cher, apparently was one of the early examples of this kind of freaky stuff. And it goes back to Japan in the 9th century or something. Of course, you've seen some in the old Asian movies. They have those weird haircuts where they shave like the thing and it has come down on a thing. It's very bizarre. I don't get it. Anyway, the jellyfish haircut is back in the news, and it looks pretty freaking freaky to me. A couple things. Oh, I thought this was very, very funny the other day. And it didn't get much play. We mentioned California's facing blackouts for the day after the governor idiot told the people that they're going to have nothing but electric cars. But by the way, you can't use them yet.
Which, by the way, someone pointed out that if it was all electric, they control your very movement.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The governor of California control where you went.
Yeah. Let's see.
Not only that, did you see that Bortz was talking about it the other day, that he has a new law that where he can set the hourly rate for fast food workers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He's now going to determine they're going to be getting $20 to $24 an hour. And he's going to mandate that fast food companies have to pay that. And so if they do, guess what?
Do that?
Well, guess what?
No, they'll just do automated.
Well,
they'll do automated
lawsuits. Yeah,
they'll do automation.
Well, not only that, but what's going to happen is they're going to either hire fewer workers or have them part time because they can't afford to pay it.
Well, because
the prices are going to go up.
Well, that and a lot of McDonald's you go to now, if you go inside, you don't order from a live person.
Yeah, you got kiosks.
You go to the kiosk. So that's what they're going to do. They're just going to develop more of those so they don't have to hire people for $20 an hour.
It's very freaking bizarre. I thought this was fairly amusing the other day in West Virginia. Did you see a family was driving their electric vehicle and it broke down in West Virginia in Tucker County. They were going for a weekend getaway in their electric car, and it broke down. And so some photographs shared on Facebook show by a Republican state senator show the car broken down next to the coal access road on US 48. Somebody called the foreman and told him a car was broken down in the middle of a haul road. So they all showed up, and these coal miners are pushing the people's electric car out of the way to get them the help they could use, because nobody's going to get a tow truck out in the middle of nowhere. They dropped off a friend of coal license plate to the people before they sent them on their way.
They pushed them to the coal plant to charge up.
Yeah, their electric car.
And they were tourists. Oh, let's go see what the idiots out there, those crazy middle Americans are doing at a coal plant.
This is called coal. This little black chunk of
anthracite
glass.
Here, eat it.
They gave the people who own the electric car a license plate decal that says "We love coal."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in California, I tell you right now, this actually may be a boon. If they're going to tell everybody you can't have a gas car, wouldn't you go buy a motorcycle so you'd still be able to get around? Are they going to do this?
Unless they outlaw the engines. If they outlaw combustion engines, then and lawnmowers too. I mean, but again,
if they start taking away your gas car, I seriously would buy a motorcycle and keep it in the garage and say, okay, you're not going to tell me I want to go if I want to go.
Well, again, they're asking for it.
Oh, by the way,
they're making average American citizen into a lawbreaker.
What's the difference between California and the Titanic?
Well, only 5,000 people went down on the Titanic.
The Titanic had its lights on when it sank.
Yeah, oh! See where you're dying. Very funny. Speaking of the Titanic and oceans and icebergs, here we go again. They're calling it the Doomsday Glacier in Antarctica. Now, there's Antarctica and then the Arctic. How come it's not Antarctica and Antarctica?
You're asking all the wrong questions.
I mean, okay. And now there's the Arctic.
The Arctic.
Okay. Now is that the one up north? It's one up north, right? And the Antarctica is the anti-Arctic, which is the one down south, the South Pole, right?
No, it's because they have huge ants. They won't tell you
giant
about
ants.
down there.
But how come they call it Antarctica, but not Arctica, the other one?
Because they found the top one first. Antarctica was only discovered like the 1700s, I think, officially.
Yeah. Anyway, so the one down below is it's called the Doomsday Glacier, known as the Thwaites Glacier, called the Doomsday Glacier because they believe that if it melts or drifts away from its ice bank, that the oceans could rise as much as 20 feet.
So the Obama's beachfront property.
Yeah, so they spent $40 million to buy a house on Martha's Vineyard.
Here's how I'm hoping this thing crashes tomorrow in the ocean.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't rise at least 3 feet, we can all call bullshit on all of this.
That's right. And again, it's not when it spreads out. It's not. It doesn't mean that Miami is going to be under 10 feet of water. Okay, that's not what it means. New Orleans is already below sea level.
Well, they deserve what happens.
Well, they have, Al Gore saw a fish in the street of Miami on a sunny
day.
day.
NASA just confirmed that global climate change hasn't changed. Nothing's happened in over 8 years.
8 years has not gone up. Has not gotten worse.
We're having a few storms now, but there hasn't been the storm season that they were thinking either.
Yeah.
But we got a couple out there now, heading for the Northeast.
and the funny thing is, if there is hurricanes, think what that's going to do to our oil reserve.
Another good point. They're saying in this article more than 40% of the world's population, lives within 60 miles of a coast. So they're saying we're all doomed.
But there's plenty of room in the middle, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's funny. You drive the Natchez Trace down south of Tupelo, and you can pull off on the side of the road. And that's northeast Mississippi. You can pull off the side of the road, and to the east you can look, and it's kind of level. And you look to the west, and it dips down a little bit, like down on a hill, and just goes. And they said that's where the sea was. The ocean went all the way up to like past St. Louis. That was all water.
Well, remember, the continents were connected.
Yeah.
You could walk from Europe to America. It was all land.
I'm telling you, there's stuff.
That's how the animals got there from one place to another.
Pangea and Gondwana. I tell you, the stuff that's probably under our Antarctica, God knows what they're going to find down underneath there.
Yeah.
Because the lakes aren't frozen underneath
There's still so much we don't know about our own planet. I mean, even the oceans, for God's sakes. I don't know why we're not living. I mean, you'd think they'd want to live in the ocean before they'd want to live at Mars. You'd think there'd be some way to make sure that there would. I mean, think about it.
Waterworld.
There's got to be some way.
But the problem is, if something happens to this planet, we're all doomed.
Well, yeah.
Where if we have some people on Mars, we still got a chance.
Well, that's real long thinking. That's 1,000 years from now. But again, who knows? I can't. I can't comprehend. I can't imagine. Do you think we'll be alive in 1,000 years?
Not you and I.
Be human? No, I think there'll be. Do you think there'll be a human population on Earth? Will still be an Earth with humans on it in 1,000 years?
Yeah, I don't know what shape it'll be, but
no, because the Earth is expanding. At some point,
I don't think. Well, the universe is expanding. I don't think the Earth is expanding.
Yeah, like a balloon.
Didn't Elon Musk say that or something like that?
No, I haven't heard that before. I don't know about the Earth expanding.
Erase. Move on.
Okay,
I want to throw the bullshit flag on that one. I don't know, Flounder.
And you know why it's not a flat Earth, right?
Yeah. I want this part of the Saturday podcast here. I want people to know the kind of crap we got to deal with here.
I want to hear more about this.
Trying to ruin our entire educational system.
Bursting Earth theory.
Earth is expanding. Brooklyn's not expanding. Do your homework. Woody Allen. Anyway. One quick newsy kind of note thing. I thought this was amusing. The big story with color picture and everything, and it says, scars ruin the return and linger at the return of the Uvalde students. Well, then stop talking about it, and they do every single day. They have interviews with people. I saw the blood on my mother's. Well, then stop doing it, and then maybe they'll get over it. The fact. Anyway, I just thought that was rather bizarre. Also, I know this is wrong. How in the world does a woman, whether she's an heiress or not, whether she's white or black or not, why does a woman who obviously is athletic and cares about her nutrition and body and health and everything else, why does she go out by herself at 4 o'clock in the morning to go jogging?
I see it all in my neighborhood, and I'm going,
dear
you
God.
stupid woman, what are you doing?
Probably with earplugs in to
Yes.
listen to her headphones.
They can't hear someone coming
And running
up behind
on the
them.
right-hand side of the road instead of the left so they don't see the cars coming.
And she's out in
Jesus.
Memphis?
Yeah, Memphis, Tennessee at 4 o'clock in the morning jogging.
And this guy got out early from another kidnapping.
Well, not only that, he raped his first woman when he was 14. He kidnapped a guy when he was a teenager, and was released. He served 20 years for a kidnapping and got out. And he raped his first person when he was 14, got into trouble with his first crime when he was 13. He never went to high school. They say they don't even call him a high school dropout. There's no evidence he ever went to school. And he's been, so here we go.
He bragged in prison how he was, and the other prisoners were saying, "Don't let him out.
Yeah.
He's not remorseful at all."
Yeah, and again, this is victim shaming. I realize I'm not. No, she doesn't deserve to get murdered.
No.
But she deserves to, to realize. You have to understand. You can't put yourself in a situation like that and think that nothing ever will happen.
I'm so
It's
special.
the
Nothing
odds.
can happen to
It's,
me.
again, look at the odds of something happening. But if you want to run a red light, what are the odds you'll get away with it? And that's one thing. But the odds are jogging as a woman alone at 4 o'clock in the morning in Memphis, Tennessee.
It's insane.
And again, sorry, Memphis. I don't mean to belittle the whole town, but
I love Memphis, but
it's not like it used to be.
It's crime-ridden.
Memphis is not the days of Elvis when everybody just wanted to play music. And,
It's always been crime.
well, I guess that's true. But again, it's not a happy. It's not the happiest place on earth. Sorry.
No, I wouldn't live there.
A couple of quick things. Young adults, children in particular, are using marijuana more than ever. It's up 43% of kids saying they use marijuana. And Juul, the Juul, the cigarette vaping company, has agreed to pay $440 million to 33 states for marketing their high nicotine vaping products to children.
Yep.
They had launch parties for kids, product giveaways, youthful models. And so they're $440 million they're giving up. However, it will not affect, they're still selling their cigarettes. They have taken away they hooked a bunch of young people on nicotine, but they've mostly been in retreat for a couple of years. They stopped selling the fruit and candy flavored cigarettes.
Spencer, when we worked at the station, Spencer would come in, and I go,
What is that smell?
It smelled just like the bubble gum you would get when I was a kid. It smelled like strawberry. I go, what is that?
Like
he goes, it's my
gum,
Juul. It's like, it brought back so many memories of eating that bubble gum.
The smell, yeah.
That's why it was so addictive, because they have so many flavors.
Oh, my
You can get
gosh.
like cotton candy, apple, all that kind of stuff.
Great.
Yeah. So again, Juul's paying the money, but they're still selling the vaping. I mean, you still buy the vaping products. And again, now they're saying that actually smoking cigarettes might even be better for you.
Well, because there's not as many chemicals.
There's not as many of the other chemicals that'll kill you.
And
made
it's
out
not a vapor type thing
Yeah.
that is wet that gets in your lungs.
Nicotine is
Smoke
nicotine. If you're
weed.
going to get nicotine, it might be better to get nicotine out of a Lucky Strike than out of a vaping thing.
Yeah, smoke is better than vapor.
Yeah. So I guess I should go ahead and fire up those Luckies.
Like COVID can attach
Why don't
itself
you
to
stick
vapor.
to bakeries? Let's stick to bakeries. Don't worry
That's
about
another thing, too. All right, hold everything. Coming up, a couple of musical historical notes. I think we're going way over time here, I think, probably. And a note on Tupac and what really happened. Also, the last of the bare-knuckle fights. Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson, the rapist. All of that stuff coming up here shortly. But first, a reminder. If you have something you want to maybe swap or get rid of or sell, or you're looking something you want to buy and find and you can't find anywhere else, how about M&S Title Pawn? Beautiful Bremen, Georgia, right there at 306 Laurel Street, Suite A, M&S Title Pawn. I say it specifically because the name of the company is the letters M and the letter S. So it's M&S Title Pawn. Bremen, Georgia, right there on Laurel Street. Open Monday through Saturday in person. Love to see people come in. If you have something for them, great. If they have something for you, great. I mean, work your stuff out there right in person. And they have a phone number if you want to call them in advance and check it out. Here's the number. Area 678-821-3337. And if you want to look them up on the web, that's when you spell out or say out loud the phrase M&S Title Pawn. If you spell it out, M&S spells M-A-N-D-S title.com. So to get them on the web, it's manstitle.com, M-A-N-D-S title.com. And the number again, 678-821-3337, M&S Title Pawn in Bremen, Georgia. And again, if you'd like to be a sponsor on the program, and please do, because at some point we have to get a job.
Well, if there's all these jobs out there,
I know.
Where are they?
Where are they? If we could find some way to link us with an actual employer, that would be just just a little employer.
We're not stupid.
Not a big one. 3 days a week. We'll come in 3 days a week and entertain you for what? I mean,
I'll
20
work from
grand,
home.
25 grand. We'll take whatever you're looking for.
I can data transcribe.
We could do that.
Do they still do that?
Make
Data
phone calls to make you happy in the morning early. Wake up calls. We could do all kinds of stuff for you.
History.
Teach you a little something.
You know what we should do?
Yes.
We should read audiobooks.
Okay.
And make fun of them while we're reading them.
And then sell them our own the Kimmer podcast audio styling.
Kimmer reads the Aeneid.
Yeah. So this creepy little bastard goes over, just
This
kind of
naked little Greeks walking around buggering everything he sees.
I like it. Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, singer girl, 79 today. Chrissy Hind of The Pretenders, 71. Corbin Burnson used to be on the Law and Order show. Played
L.A. Law.
L.A. Law, and of course he was in the famous movie
Major League.
Played the third baseman. Corbin Burnson is 68 today. He used to be a carpenter.
He should have been a bigger star. He's another one that, like John Hamm, he kind of screwed up his career.
Well, he was, and I thought that the not Law and Order, what's the name? L.A. Law was going to be his. I mean, he was huge in that. Yeah. Of course, so was Susan Day. One of the little chin girl. I want to bing bang. Anyway, Evan Rachel Wood is 35 today, and she, years ago when she first kind of barged onto the scene as a young girl, she was hot and great looking and kind of a classy look about her.
Westworld, she's
Westworld, yeah. And it turns out that she did a documentary about her relationship to Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson raped her in her sleep, made her drink his blood. She was 18 when he was 37. He used to beat her with a whip from the Nazis, which he got from the Holocaust. He had Nazi memorabilia, and he would whip her with a Nazi whip. Evan Rachel Wood, who is now a lesbian. I mean, she's, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now, whether it has anything to do, I just bit my tongue again, whether that has anything to do with him treating her like that, I don't know. It was 20 years, almost 20 years ago.
That doesn't, that's not a good advertisement for us guys.
No, it's not a good thing to do that. Basketball player Kevin Love, 34. Is he still playing, or did they finally get rid of him? I think didn't he just get traded somewhere? Julie Kavner. She was the sister on Rhoda. Yeah. But she was the voice on The Simpsons of Marge. She's 72 today. Julie Kavner. God, I can't believe it. Susan Blakely, remember her? Beautiful blonde girl. She was in Towering Inferno and Airport 79. Hot. Susan Blakely is 74 years old today. She was in those 70s movies that were
what was the one where they're running? That was Goldie Hawn in Sugarland. There was another one. She was trying to escape with Jeff Bridges or one of the Bridge boys, Bo Bridges, and she was in a tank top and a car.
The old Quinn Martin productions back then.
She was a hottie.
Yeah. A couple of historical notes. Let's see. In 1978, The Who drummer Keith Moon died from an overdose of the prescription drug that was supposed to cure him of his alcoholism. The autopsy showed that Keith Moon had 32 of those tablets in his stomach, but almost all of them were undissolved. He took them by the handful, apparently. He had been to a party the night before, organized by Paul McCartney to celebrate the launch of the Buddy Holly story movie. Keith Moon died in the same apartment where Mama Cass of the Mamas and Papas died 4 years earlier. He was 31 years old.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. 2007, 2 music studies of note. 2 studies. The first researchers found that rock stars are twice as likely to die at a young age as the rest of us. In fact, the study said the rock music industry should be labeled a high-risk profession in 2007. Also, 2007, British researchers found that among young people who listen to music on MP3 players, they face premature hearing loss. Most crank the volume to full volume of more than 100 decibels on an MP3 player, which is nearly as loud as an airliner taking off from you standing next to it, not inside the plane. And a couple other things. Speaking of airliners and airplanes, 1940, Germany begins the Blitz on London. 300 German bombers dropped payloads for 57 straight nights. They killed 40,000 civilians, families, children, and destroyed 1 million homes in London. The Blitz began 1940. 1907, the Lusitania set sail on her maiden voyage from Liverpool, England, to New York City. She made it in just over 5 days, setting a transatlantic record at the time. Lusitania later became a famous cause of World War I, guess, probably.
It caused us getting into World War I, which it should not have.
It should not have, but it did. 1979, Scott Rasmussen and his father Bill decided to plunge into the cable TV industry in 79 and founded the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network, ESPN. 1996, rapper Tupac Shakur, a rapper and gangbanger who had spent time in prison, was shot on the Las Vegas Strip. He died 6 days later at age 25. The gunman was believed to be linked to Hunter Biden, who had put out the hit on Tupac, using his Russian child porn kidnap victims to lure him into the trap because Tupac had not forked over his taste to the big guy who'd been wetting his beak for decades now. By the way, for the record, Tupac was riding in Suge Knight's Beamer when somebody fired 13 shots into the car, grazing Suge in the head. And Flounder's history guy wrote this, quote, "These days, Suge Knight still gets shot from time to time, but right now he's cooling his heels in jail for that hit and run where he ran over one of his friends." Some friend. 1972, the International Olympic Committee bans Vince Matthews and Wayne Collett of the United States from further competition for talking to each other on the victory stand during the playing of the national anthem. They had won gold and silver in the 400-meter run. They got banned for talking on the stand during... You think they do that today? They'd probably celebrate him for not listening to the national anthem. And another, 1892, James J. Corbett knocked out John L. Sullivan to win the heavyweight boxing championship under the Marquis of Queensberry rules for the first time. No more bare knuckles. Actual rules this time. It used to be heavyweight boxing before the Marquis of Queensberry rules was street fighting, basically. You could kick, gouge, bite, almost do anything. And bare knuckles.
Like MMA.
It was. And the fights back then, before that, used to last 75 rounds.
Because they weren't 3 minutes.
No, and this last fight, the first one under the new rules, this first fight with Corbett and Sullivan lasted 21 rounds. Gentleman Jim Corbett got his nickname because, unlike most brawlers, he was a college kid who worked in a bank and was trained by a coach. And that was unheard of in 1892. Let's see. That's all. That's
all you got?
That's all I got. Can't think of anything else.
You ever heard of Peter Straub?
Peter Strzok? The FBI? Straub?
S-T-R-A-U-B.
I have heard that name.
He wrote one of the scariest books you'll ever read. And the movie was okay. Ghost Story. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And the movie came out of Fred Astaire and some of the old Melvin Douglas and some of the older actors.
God, I don't remember anything about it. I remember the name.
It was set in New England, and it was like a ghost story that lasted like 70 years. It was pretty. It was pretty interesting. And he wrote ghost stories. He wrote a bunch of other stuff, too. He just passed away.
Oh,
and he was
really?
a pretty good author.
Yeah.
Pretty good author.
Okay. Sorry, Mark. And how old he was or anything?
He was,
Any particular?
doesn't say. He was in at least his 70s.
Yeah.
At least his 70s.
All right, well,
They found a woman in Poland.
Yeah.
Actually, she'd been buried. And for some reason, they're digging up graves there to look at stuff.
Yeah.
And they found something interesting around her neck.
in her grave in Poland, all right?
Yeah. A scythe.
A scythe, like in the
Scythe.
the Grim Reaper
Grim
scythe
Reaper,
comes
a
to you with a
scythe.
scythe, the old grass cutting
Yeah.
implement.
You know why it was across her throat?
Why was it across her throat?
To keep her from rising from the dead.
Oh my God!
They thought she was a vampire.
Thought she was a witch or a vampire.
and that if she got up, she'd cut her head off.
Oh
if she
my
got up.
God!
There's actually a photo of her there.
Holy smokes!
Isn't that amazing? So anyway,
Wow.
it says medieval vampire North with sickle across their throat, and Gabino replied, "Hey, here's an awesome idea. Leave it the fuck alone."
Don't touch her.
Now,
Why are you still there?
now is not a good time.
Stop digging. If you saw that, wouldn't you say, oh, boys, give me the dirt. Give me the dirt quick. Get the hell out of here. Holy man, don't wake the dead. My God.
I know. Lots of crazy.
Oh.
These beliefs came out of somewhere, you know. Anyway,
What do you suppose if you would your soul actually rise at some point? I mean, I just why would it still be in? I don't know. God.
David says, Pete, on your recommendation, my wife and I went to City Barbecue up in Johns Creek. I go to the one in Sandy Springs for the first time, and you said try the Hush Puppies. They were delicious.
Oh,
So
I haven't
thank
had
you.
Hush Puppies in
Go
decades.
to City Barbecue, man. I'm telling you, those are great. And you get a knee-high orange or peach
Yeah.
and a grape with the Hush Puppies and the barbecue.
Their brisket's really good.
Oh my God, it's so
Really
good.
good
It's there.
Well,
It's at
I haven't
Abernathy and Roswell Road. It's right there.
yeah.
It's very easy to
Yeah.
get to from here. How about a new segment on the podcast called Pete's Eats, where you talk about good restaurant experiences you've had?
I like it.
It would also be cool to hear how Kimmer can make your new restaurant experiences about himself.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Pete's Eats by the Kimmer.
Interrupted by the Kimmer. Yeah. I wouldn't eat that. I wouldn't eat there.
Oh, I don't think I've ever had that before.
Ricky Gervais has a question for you.
Yes.
For both of you, you and Flounder.
All right.
You can only keep 3.
All right.
Beer.
Well, what are
Would you
the
keep
others?
Beer? Well, what would you keep beer?
Yeah,
Just off the top
okay.
of your head.
So far, yeah.
Beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Yeah, but I could, yeah.
No, I gotta have chocolate.
I'd probably go with the pizza.
Okay. Swearing.
Oh, I got to keep. I
Yeah,
can't.
I
There's
gotta
no
swear.
way I can stop swearing. So I got to. So now I got to get rid of one of them. I'd get rid of the.
Wait, we're not finished.
Oh, okay.
This is Ricky Gervais. So, of course, on this list, he puts AIDS.
AIDS. Yeah, I'll move that.
We can get rid of it. Coffee.
You know, I don't. I need my morning coffee, but I don't really drink. Yeah, I don't know. I've been drinking iced coffee lately instead of Bloody Marys.
I usually
or
have
I
one
know
cup
you're
in the
gay.
I usually have one cup in the morning, but I could do without it. I'd be okay.
Yeah. I've never drank coffee really that much, so I don't care.
all of a sudden I'm drinking iced coffee in the afternoon before
I was a
eat
Coke
dinner.
baby. When I used to work the morning show radio, I'd make a big thing of Coca-Cola when
Yeah.
I came in, not coffee.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Nah.
Fuck that.
Toast.
Well, I toast my English muffins every day.
Running.
I used to run. I'm not anymore.
Ketamine.
Don't even know what that is.
Well, it's a drug, isn't
That's
it?
my
Horse
daughter.
tranquilizer.
Horse tranquilizer
Yeah.
that some people take. Grandpa.
I am a grandpa.
Well, I don't have one anymore, so yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chips. And remember,
I could-
he's British, so it could
I
be
could give
French
up.
fries.
Oh, that could be. I could give up fries or chips.
Oh, I'd have a
I
hard
could.
time with that. And holidays.
Giving up holidays?
Yeah. Could you give up holidays?
You
can only keep
not
3.
for me. I don't really care, but because of what it means to other people I care about in my family, I would not want to give them up.
Yeah. I would keep chocolate, holidays, and pizza, since I don't drink beer anymore.
Yeah, I'd give up the beer. That'd be hard to pick three because I'm all of a sudden for about the last month I've been drinking iced coffee. I've been buying stuff when I go to if I buy Coffee Mate or something for my morning coffee. I've been buying those big bottles of Starbucks coffee, black coffee that just comes and for like $6 or something, and I'll mix that with milk and sugar and make it into an iced coffee thing, and I'll drink it every afternoon. But it's unbelievable. I don't know why.
This is kind of a precursor to the Pete's Eat segment. This is what it would be like.
See, that could work.
I decided on my 3 that I would have chocolate pizza on holidays.
Well, there you are. That makes sense.
Let's see what it's. Oh, Mike Leach, Mississippi State coach, pointed this out. A few people did it over the weekend. The boat they used as the SS Minnow in Gilligan's Island was a 1964 Wheeler at a cruising speed of 12 knots, which means on a 3-hour tour, they couldn't have traveled more than 41 and a half miles. Now I'm starting to doubt if the show was even real.
It sounds like Mississippi State coach. Doesn't it?
And how about a road trip? I have always, since I drove past it once.
I thought you'd be on one this past 4 days.
I almost thought about it.
I can't believe you didn't
Well, it's
go driving
because football.
your car.
Oh, hell no. Well, first of all, I don't have my car back yet. It's still in Joe Biden's.
Oh, my God.
It's in Joe Biden's warehouse at the moment because everything's backed up. Well, they told me it'd be Tuesday or Wednesday. So anyway, road trip here. I've always wanted to watch Army play up at West Point because in the fall with the leaves turning and everything, it's just beautiful. If you ever drove up there,
or Navy at
beautiful.
Annapolis.
Well, no. West Point's so much prettier than Annapolis. Georgia State's playing up there October 1st.
Really?
At Mikey Stadium.
I'll be damned.
I don't know.
It's a Saturday, right?
Yeah, that's a
You
noon
can drive
start.
up there.
A noon start. Hell, you can fly up there, fly
Drive
to New
up
York,
there.
drive up there. You can't drive up there.
It's a Saturday
Take you
game.
2
Drive up
days
Friday.
to drive up there.
No.
Bullshit. Take 2 days.
Oh,
Well, take 2 days to go to Boston. You'd be exhausted by the time you
that's
got there.
true. Yeah. but
Fly
still.
to New York, drive up or take the train up to West Point, see the game, and then you can fly back the next day.
That's true. That sounds pretty pricey to me.
All right. Some guy's trying to sell a Honda.
Yeah.
It's a motorcycle, and he says it's a badass Honda 2000 CR500, fast as fuck. Here's his ad. Let's get you to sell it. And okay, these are bad words, children.
All right,
okay.
ladies and gentlemen. Well, you already said one. It was a pretty good indication.
Not for kids or pussies.
Oh.
You breathe on the throttle, and the front wheel is up and dropping panties. Go ask your mom; she'll tell you. Suggest you wear a helmet so you don't end up like Superman. If you kick it, better wear a mixed riding boot or you'll break that twig you call a leg. Yes, it's a 2-stroke, so you'll be mixing gas and slapping ass all day. Ever wonder what it's like to be Michael J. Fox? Well, look no further than this thing. It's going to shake your arms off. Low on testosterone because your wife stole your dignity and sense of being a man again? Well, this is your opportunity to go back in her purse and get your balls back. That you should never have given up in the first place. These bikes aren't made anymore, just like women that cook and clean. So just like those women, this beast needs to be chained up every night.
Oh, boy. Oh, he's going to get some reaction, I bet you there.
I bet someone's going to sell it. All right.
And it's a Honda.
It's a Honda.
So, sorry, but that's,
No, don't
a
be
Honda.
trashing Honda.
I know. I'm a Harley guy. Sorry.
I know. They're going out of business, basically. We're about to do bad text theater here. Are you all right?
That's right.
I think he's got a cold or something. He's been belching the entire
That's not
entire show on that. All right, well, look up the bad text theater here. Talk amongst yourselves while I do
All right,
this.
well, that's fine.
We talked about that.
I don't know what to say.
What are you going to do between now and Friday?
I know. I got a bunch of things in here that I was going to talk about before. Oh, I owe you money.
What?
I owe you, guy. We got our monthly pay.
It's the
for
serving
July,
size of
and
chip.
and I owe you $28.57, and I'm rounding it up to $30.
Well, where is it?
I've got it in my pocket.
Really?
I'm almost positive I got it in my pocket.
Oh, your money's tied up in cash
It's
right
all
now.
tied up in cash.
If you don't have it, don't
no,
worry
I've got.
about it.
There's 30 for you. You got a $10 bill? All right, I've got a 20. You do?
Well, I just gave you one.
Well, well,
Somehow
here you
I
go.
think I'd lose
oh,
on
that
that
would
deal.
work. All right, well then for you.
Okay, if you give me 2 20s, I'll give you this 10 back.
No, that's not going to work. Good try. There's a 20 and a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There you go. There's your $30.
I tell you what, we pull this off, we'll live like kings.
So again, we made $28 a piece for the month of July. August isn't in yet; they're a month behind. when they
Are they?
the pants. Yeah, but anyway, so there. That's for floundering.
I'm just glad they still want to see.
There you go.
Was it
Now,
isn't the 6 months coming up soon where either we decide or they decide to keep us?
I mean, they'll keep us, but we got to figure out if we want to stay or what we want to do.
Why else? Well, we would leave.
No, I'm just saying. I mean,
money's all I can think of.
Well, we're getting $30.
Well, again, maybe we could make it like more like 1,000, or I'm just saying there might be some way to make some money on this. But
Bad Text Theater.
Bad Text Theater. Okay. Are you the expert, or
I'm the
you,
expert.
or me? Okay, I'm me, and he's the expert.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
There we go.
A serving size of chips is 10 chips.
I eat 10 chips while standing in the pantry with the bag open, trying to decide if I want to eat chips.
That sounds about right. Do I want these or these?
You go to the kitchen. What am I eating?
I forgot why I'm in here. Oh, Lordy. All right, boys. Well, have a good one and enjoy it. It's a little cooler. It's been kind of fun. Different change.
I went outside last night. It was wonderful last night.
Yeah. I've noticed how dark it's getting darker a lot earlier than it used to.
I've noticed in the mornings, because I'm usually up when
mornings.
the sun comes up, that it's later and later,
Yeah.
and the sun's in a
I'm going
different
out-
position.
I'm going out in the dark now for sure to get my paper, but at
doing
least
out
it's
in the-
being
oh.
delivered. And also, they're going to stop delivering the paper. We made that announcement.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to no more by next year. No more newspaper delivery. It'll be all digital.
Wow.
It's over.
Well, when you go get your coffee, pick up a newspaper.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know whether they'll print one to be sold in
Kroger.
stores.
Wow.
I mean, when I came here in '72, you were here in the '60s. There were two major daily newspapers.
Constitution in the morning, Journal in the
and the
afternoon.
Gwinnett Daily. There were three major
In the
newspapers
90s, in the 90s, yeah.
up until until
The New York Times
the
sold
New York
out.
Times sold out to the Cox people and killed it, turned it into a warehouse. Yeah. Oh Lordy! All right, boys. Final thoughts. Have a good. All right. Look out! I gotta go. You're killing me. Hoorah! Supper 5, boys. Enjoy, and I hope everything